Girth.
Girth. Well, that's on the recording now. Good evening, citizens, and welcome to another episode of the Shattersong LARP Diaries. Today's
Hello.
word of the day is girth. We'll cover that
It's
in
the word of the
detail.
weekend.
I think it's just the word now. Word on the
Just
street.
the words. The
Yeah,
capital W word.
indeed, the eighth
Mm.
virtue.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I am joined once again by my erstwhile companion, Matty.
And fellow dead Shattersong.
Indeed. But today we are not joined by Sol due to
Mm-hmm.
something esoteric and mystical called Calendar Clash, where today
Yeah.
we are going to be
Too
trying
busy
out,
being in a live Shattersong. I mean,
yeah,
ew.
having an actual life running other D&D games. Imagine that, people. Games other than LARP. Games other than Empire. What is
What?
it? Don't get it. But,
Empire? Chris, Empire's a game?
oh, I just
Oh
lost the
my
game.
god. Oh, come on. In the middle of my bit. Really? Wow.
So,
Anyway, yeah, we're
yeah,
kind of doing this as a bit of a weird one.
we
Just the
are,
two of us.
we are indeed
Just the two
two
of
of
us.
us. It's like if
Can you
Baron
insert
was
some music
dead,
then?
but he hadn't got through the labyrinth just yet, or hadn't got to the labyrinth just
Yeah,
yet, or he's in a different section of it. So we're further
it's
up
the two of
ahead,
us.
having a natter.
I like to picture them sitting on either sides of like a stone walkway, like legs out in front, like sort of slumped because it's a long walk, the labyrinth.
It is
Let's face
exhausting.
it.
Yeah.
Ban's probably got stuck. He's not as wise as the dedication his soul might lead him to believe. Just throwing clumps of earth from one side to the other, having a chat.
Waiting for
I think it's
Baron.
probably quite sunny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Or
an
summer,
overcast
anyone.
but sunny day, right?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm picturing. Like sort of shady, but it's warm.
Hmm.
All right, that's our labyrinth posting for today.
Yeah. So
Send fan art, I guess.
yeah, we'll
Imagine.
wait for him
Can you
on
imagine?
another episode that's going to come later this week because hey Matty, did you know that Empire, that game we all play, it's
Wait,
not this
Chris.
weekend,
Chris,
but next weekend.
Empire is a game?
Oh, you know what? I've
Sorry, I
lost
won't go
again.
again. You haven't unlost it yet.
I'm
Yeah,
just.
I know. It's so soon. Oh my god, it's so soon.
I am an insatiable loser. Feel
Yeah,
free
that's
to
fair.
put that on your soundboard, dear listeners. So, what we're gonna do is split the weekend, and rather than doing all three of us, just gonna be me and Matty, then me and Sol. And we're gonna
Yeah.
focus on the two main characters who are Sol and Matty, and I'm gonna jump in with bits of my weekend. So you have to watch. I say watch. You have to listen to both of them to get
You
the
can
full
watch.
Lindir story. But you
Watching is on the Patreon only version.
there is actually a YouTube channel, but it's just audio recordings
Is
with like a
there?
cool jumping. You know, like the sine wave of audio. It just has
I
that.
like that.
Yeah, I'll
I
send you a
like
link.
that though. That's cool. You know what I miss is the old days of like, was it Windows Media Player or something
Yep,
that had that cool setting where you could put on the visualizer?
yep,
That was cool. That was cool. Bring back the visualizer.
can do. But first, we got to
But no, I
survive.
was gonna. I just want to. Yeah, I want to interrupt for a second because you just said something very interesting, which is that you think that Sol and I are the main characters, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but based on certain developments over E3 that are probably quite widely known at this point, I think actually you two are the main characters at this point. I'm a nobody now, and I also, having just done our quick check of what actually happened, didn't do that much. I think you did a lot more than I did. So maybe
Doing.
I'll be sitting here interview you.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah.
Doing is a strong
How the
word.
turntables.
Mm,
Well,
the
having
turns
it
have
be did
tables.
with you.
Yeah, that's gonna be quite a section. But we will talk about on this half of the podcast for sure, because that is
Yeah.
that is if not anything else, it's hilarious, deeply
It's very
ironic.
amusing.
Yeah,
I reckon we'll get through the whole weekend. We're going to kind of like zip through it a little bit without three of us to interject on every single point. It'll be a bit faster anyway.
true. Yeah, it will. Because the
So
first
I
half
think
is
we'll
actually
make sure
kind
we
of
get through it.
uneventful for me, I think,
Yeah. It was
in a
a
good way.
really nice. I'm just going to start jumping in, I guess.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean, it
go
was a
for it.
really nice build up to the event because it was the one that I did this year that was during the summer holidays. So I had time to get to the UK. I travel from Europe, if people don't know that already, then to like hang out, sort things out. We arrived really nicely in time on Thursday. I mean, we packed much later than we expected to. We just sort of ambled along. It was really nice.
Mm. We were in bed for quite a
I had a
while.
lovely Thursday. I think I had a shower and dyed my hair in the morning.
Yeah, yes,
I'm
you
pretty sure, I'm
did.
pretty sure you had like work phone calls
Yep.
actually on Thursday morning.
Yeah, I think
And
yeah.
I was doing your mother's ironing, actually. That was
Yeah, I
Thursday
remember
morning.
walking in the living room like, wow,
Yeah.
this is some kind of 1950s domestic artwork.
Sweatshop.
Or that, yeah, or a sweatshop.
No, I offered. No, it was nice. It was really nice to come into an event. It's my second event post Larkin, which is still a
Whoa,
timeline
is
that I
that
have to
it?
measure things by. Yeah.
Damn. God
Yeah, I
damn.
know. Larkin was lasted the whole of E1. It was only the end of E1 that we lost Larkin. It's really not been that long. That's why it's still kind of I'm still measuring time in since and before Larkin, but yeah, so it was kind of nice to like go into it with a lot more time. I wasn't feeling very well either. I was quite ill. It turned out later. I would maybe had Lyme's disease a little bit.
Ooh.
So that was fun. But it was really nice to have that relaxing feeling of, oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm prepped. I've got loads of time to think about it. Completely unlike this event, of course, coming up. Um, which has sort of been a helter-skelter screaming fest of, oh my god, it's when? Um, I am coming now, at least, because up until 2 days ago, that wasn't actually confirmed,
Mm.
and that had me scared a bit shitless. But back to E3, which did happen. It was nice. Thursday was chill. We didn't do anything particularly exciting.
Liar's
We
Dice in the
did,
Forge.
we
It's the
did
first
play
time
some
I've been in
Liar's
the
Dice.
Forge. Like, usually we go in, we go,
Really?
wow, it's like, it's busy. And whilst, of course we're like minor celebrities, like, obviously.
Hmm.
Like, you can't see, but I'm like, slicking back my imaginary hair at the moment. But we don't know everyone. And you go down the Forge, and it's like a great social space, but we've got a great
Yeah.
social space at camp as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we did run into our a recognizable group of chums from the Thornfang.
Yeah, played
And
some awesome Liar's Dice with them. Got fleeced by a new player.
yep. Oh, yep.
Um, I met some new friends. One of whom is I think a year one E1 player. I don't actually remember if their character was,
Ooh.
but we were talking about old culture of the game and old rules and stuff. And do you want to know the most interesting fact I found out? Is that there was a point in times gone by when weapons held by children did damage. They had to actively put in a rule that if a kid is holding a weapon and hits you with it, it does not do damage until they've passed their citizenship.
I did not know that.
Because
I
children were killing so many people. Legitimately, apparently, when the Forge had its second level on it, it would have been at the old site, I assume.
Mm.
There would just be kids hiding like in the rafters, stabbing people, and there would be just bodies everywhere. It was a different time, my dude. It was a different time. But can you imagine? Oh, you're back at God again. Yeah, I got stabbed by
It's like a reverse Order
9-year-olds.
66. It's like a reverse Jedi
Yeah,
Temple. You're having a nice calm drink downstairs. You hear something rowdy up the
they
stairs,
want
and you're
their
thinking,
revenge.
"Oh, let's go to the fun party." You go upstairs, just loads of dead people. You're like,
Yeah.
"Wow, this is
You're
dangerous.
like, what's
Let's
that
not go
weird thudding
inside."
noise? I best check on them. Oh no.
What's that giggling?
Dangerous, dangerous children.
Mm.
No, but pretty cool though. I mean, I like hearing stories about days gone by. I don't know that there's everything I would want to immediately go back to and experience, but it's fun to hear kind of where it came from and what it used to be and all that.
Yeah,
Back in day,
back in day, back when they had Lao Viz reps instead of cards.
it still says on the card that you need to have a phys rep, doesn't it? It does for mana crystals.
It does for. I don't think it is for Lao anymore. I'm not. You know what?
I
I'm
know
not
you. I
sure.
mean, you
It's not
don't
like.
have to because people don't have mana crystal fizz reps.
Yeah, I've seen lots of edible ones, which are great.
People don't really have potion fizz reps, to be fair, or herbs.
True.
You
Yeah.
just, if you're trying to drink a potion, then you need to drink it from something.
Yeah.
So you need to have something to drink from.
Just down your water bottle, the entirety of it, all
Yeah.
1.5 liters of water.
Yeah.
But we digress.
The whole
Old
thing.
days, old
We
rules.
do.
They were selling
Yeah.
them this event for
But it was
like
nice. It was nice.
50p each, less.
What?
The old
Oh, the
Lao
old.
fizz reps, so they
Yeah.
look like potions. So they're actually great potion fizz reps. If, dear listeners, you want to pick some up, they might be selling them at E4.
Yeah, they had them at God, I think,
Yeah, I
right?
got just on the inside on the
Yeah.
right.
They were very nice. Oh, well, that was a nice chat. Right. See you
Cool.
next time.
GG, bye bye.
What was it? So that was Thursday. I mean, Thursday was nice. Thursday's always nice. We got up in the morning, went to brunch as we normally do with the group.
You
It's
guys
quite a
did.
lot of us this time. Yeah, I know you didn't.
Yeah.
I'm well aware because I was desperate to ask you to get cash out for me because I couldn't get any cash out and you didn't come along. And I was like, no, what do I do now?
Chris!
No one else could do it. It's like, damn, I have no money. But that
Yeah.
was probably for the best.
Top tip, citizens, if you press my left nipple, I vomit up £20 notes. It's a real curse.
I was going to transfer you the money. I just didn't have a card to use in an ATM.
We don't talk about the transfer process in public.
There's a temporary and a permanent way. But moving swiftly on, showers. Oh my gosh, it was the first time I've ever used the shower block.
That blew my mind. But did you know the shower block was there?
I did. I
Okay.
just never had cause to use it because, like, for the past ages, I've been arriving pretty much directly from here, from home, from Europe. So I'm packing very light. So I don't really bring things like a towel because that takes up quite a lot of space and it, it might get wet or whatever. I don't bring a towel and like wash and stuff and I just get really yucky and then wherever I end up on Sunday night, have a shower there instead. And that tends to work out just fine. But it was so nice. I'll tell you what though, I can't believe I'm saying this. Too hot.
They are very
Like,
hot. They are very hot
burning
showers.
hot.
They were
I
better
couldn't
this
stand
event.
under it.
They were much hotter last. They're genuinely coming out like 45, 50 degrees. It's
No,
hot.
no, no. I think the one that I was in was about that because I couldn't stand in it. I couldn't even put my hand in it.
Yeah, you have to do it in bursts.
I had to
I
sort of
squat for
just
mine.
like, oh God, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I think if what I should have done and what I might try and do for this coming event, I might bring like a flannel because then you can like wet the flannel and use it because it'll cool down slightly.
True, very true. But still be nice and warm to the touch, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
It
in
was
the early
mad.
morning,
It was
they're
so hot.
giga hot, but after
Yeah.
I don't know, a couple hours,
Well,
then
it wasn't that
like
late. It
9,
was probably only
9:30,
about
they're pretty cool.
12 or something because it was after brunch that I went.
Oh, maybe just they only heat it up in the morning and that's it.
Could be.
I don't know.
Or it's nearer the heater. I was one like right by the door, so it was probably near a heater or something.
I think
I don't
that
know.
yeah.
I mean, it was great. It's kind of the opposite of a problem to have. It was a bit
Yeah.
of a shame because I was sort of sitting there like, I can't believe I'm complaining it's too hot, but I actually can't use this properly.
Yeah, PD, please do
And
not
that feels
turn
so
down
sad.
the temperature. Please, no more like no cold showers.
Only slightly. But yeah, cold showers also bad. I feel like you can cool down enough to like numb enough to stand a cold shower though. It's almost impossible to like handle the really high heat showers.
Yeah, because it is just scalding.
You
But
know
it
what I
does
mean?
burn off all the
Yeah.
war paint, all the grime, all the spilt beer, the melted cheese, and the cucumber slices that have been
And that's
trapped.
just from Thursday night.
That's just from Thursday night, and all of those
just
are
Thursday night.
references. But yes, shower's good.
Yeah. It was nice because it was also nice to wash my hair before the weekend. Because again, normally because I arrive on Thursday evening, but I fly and I go straight after work, I normally haven't had the opportunity to wash my hair since like Wednesday night because I don't do it in the mornings. It's too early before work. So Wednesday night till Sunday night is quite a long time, and I'm usually feeling pretty yucky. and dry shampoo can only do so much. So it was really nice to be like, just feeling fresh and clean. Can't
That's
believe it.
lovely. I can't relate. Anyone who knows me knows that
Yeah.
my hair woes are long behind me, and
Yeah.
yeah, I
They're
just
not. They're short. They're gone. They're not long behind you.
no, they're
There's nothing.
internal. They're going back in.
They've gone back in, but
They're back in.
they're growing out your chin now.
They are actually, yeah.
They are.
But anyway, enough about personal grooming. Final part on Friday morning, sort of pre-timing. Um, Apparently, word of the day is sunset. I've written in the notes, but we'll get to
Well,
that
you've
at
just ruined
sunset.
it, haven't you?
No,
Do you
this is
not
not
know
the
what the
secret
word of the
word.
day thing is?
No,
Oh,
this is the word of the
why is
day
it
for
word of the
Linda.
day?
Well, the one I DM'd you
Okay.
earlier.
Oh, oh,
That one, yeah,
oh.
that's our word for the podcast.
Listeners,
But no.
he did not DM me a word.
I was giving us a way out. Right, okay.
I know you were, but
Pick.
I think I'm trying to win their favor, you see, for the eventual takeover I do of this podcast.
I hate you.
So I'm like trying to get them on my side by like razzing on you
I don't
and
like
like
it.
showing you up
Right,
and
moving on.
snitching.
I went to Tesco and got some chaos fruit for the end.
He said the word.
No, it's not the word, listeners. Cheeky. Cheeky is not the word. Cheeky Tesco trip to get chaos fruit. Yeah, so this event, I got a metallic chaos fruit due to some of the big
Ooh.
empire-wide spells that have been cast. TLDR on those is that obviously some spells affect like you as an individual, some affect a territory, and then of course some affect the entire empire. They
Mm.
basically attune the entire nation, sorry, the entire empire to a certain realm, and they often have positive impacts. And because this was Autumn Realm, everyone got more money this time.
Yeah,
And some weird,
Cambions had a special ability, I
yeah,
think.
they had like a free hero point and stuff like that, which is pretty
They
cool.
had, yeah, under certain circumstances, but yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
then
cool stuff.
yeah, Chaos Fruit owners such as myself, we got a metallic fruit as well as a normal fruit. It's basically like a +6 rank boost to Autumn Realm rituals. It does seem that the Chaos Fruits are
Ah,
basically just magical potions that have lots of equivalents
yeah.
for boosting rituals and stuff, is the boring way
Cool.
to approach it. I like to think
Did
of
you
them as
use
spicy
yours?
fun times. No, it's actually just stuck in my pouch, you know.
How do you know what it does?
I
Did someone
don't.
else use this?
Oh, yeah, there's like words going around, so I think I'm reasonably accurate with that. I think
Okay,
the
just
metallic
just
fruit were
thinking
covered
about
on the
E1
wiki.
for 1 second because we know what word going around about chaos fruit. We happen to know where many rumors can originate from and how swiftly that can travel. Are you sure that's what metallic chaos fruit does?
It was covered on the wiki, so I know it's accurate.
Okay.
Uh,
It wasn't
it
another
it wasn't
Chris
someone
on another
else
part of the field spreading rumors.
spreading rumors about the high value of chaos fruit in order to sell them at a higher rate.
I can't believe that backfired on you so much
It
as
did it
well.
did backfire, but I made a decent amount of cash, but I
Yeah.
could have made more. But who
Yeah,
knows?
well, it
Maybe I
was a
could have
good
made
try.
less.
It's good fun.
It was great, yeah. Market manipulation. I was like the Warren Buffett
Hmm.
of chaos fruit.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just a metallic chaos fruit that you got
No. So are we getting on to the chunky
though.
stacks?
Chonky stacks. So we're both looking at the brief write up that we do to try and remember what on earth happened. And in both of our columns, it says chonky stacks. Would you like to, I mean, without going into too much detail about everything, talk about the chonky stacks?
Yeah. So I was a drug dealer for E1 and E2. E1 was chaos fruit. E2 was actual drugs. E3
Hmm.
was well, I'd placed a large order with some delightful traders from Axos, and I forgot how large an order I had placed.
Oh
So when I opened my player pack,
my
there was
god.
about 100 lammies, 50 of each
Yeah,
type of cat piss and the blue one, which I forget the street name for.
the other one.
Basically, one's like shrooms, one's weed, and
Yeah.
I just forgot the
So many lammies in
disgusting,
your
just
player
holding
pack.
that many. It was ungodly.
Unbelievable. It was like you pulled some out, and then we were all like, "Oh my god, how do you have so many?" And then you went, "No, this is half."
Yeah, pulled out the other half, the bag swelling.
Everyone's eyes are like wider than wide, and I was very jealous. I want, not necessarily because of the drugs, but I would like a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
because starting as a new character, it's quite hard to, grow wealth and whatever. And I made the unwise, perhaps, decision to be a priest and have a congregation, which is really sad because it means I don't have any money.
Yeah.
But man, I was jealous of all of your lammies.
They were delightful. They were the
It
proceeds
made me think about
of trade.
crime. It did.
Yeah.
It made me think
Yeah.
about like the
Crime pays.
legitimate, like, yeah. I mean, they're not illegal drugs. That was the best part, right? Because I have no issue with playing a character who is a criminal. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't. I play many a D&D character who is a criminal, but I don't actively want to get caught doing illegal stuff
Mm.
in character, because I just don't. I want
Yeah.
to be able
You
to
know how
be
that
as
can end.
plausibly deniable as possible. I don't want to get stabbed by militia people to death. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I would like to live. So I'm like, I'd like to try something sort of shady without being actively illegal,
Mm.
and something that will make me money quick.
Yeah.
That seems to be
Crime or pseudo
some of
crime,
the drug scheme.
dishonesty, some might
Yeah,
say, is totally game. And the thing is, there's nothing, as you just put it, there's nothing illegal about it. These have not been banned by by Conclave or by the Senate or anything like that. They're just
yeah,
a bit shady. Um,
yeah.
they have a bit of a rep, but it's just like Goose Whisper. It has like,
It's like
ooh,
this
doing some
whisper.
Goose
Yeah,
Whisper. There's nothing wrong with it.
yeah. The Empire's very pro drug. We
Yeah,
do Liao all the time.
you
That
can
is a drug.
you can make your own Goose Whisper, dear citizens. You can actually go and learn it as an apothecary, and it costs like 2 crowns to make, maybe less.
Ooh.
It's super cheap, and it sounds.
I've never done any icy drugs, and I really, really wanted to. Except for reasons we'll get into later. There was none accessible when I was in possession of enough money to buy any.
Yes,
But I really
that
I want to try Goose Whisper. You were trying to understand what I meant. We'll
yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah, Goose Whisper requires a ref, so it's
That's
quite
great.
tricky
It's
to
good
set
fun.
up.
I
But
think people really like don't quite realize that we're basically just taking drugs every time you use Liao for things.
yep,
That is the point of it, you know. But it's good fun. I want to get money and wealth, and maybe I'll have to do drugs. I don't know.
yeah, you can't just rob
They did look
people.
like so much fun. Yeah, but that feels like it will get me into trouble.
Not if you do it right.
Also, it's not clever. I want to do something clever. I don't want to just rob people or
Mm,
stab someone, you know? I want to have a crime that's like, think of like, I don't know,
a
friggin',
heist.
yeah, I want to like the Ocean's 11 style,
Yeah,
you
like
know? You
pretending
want
to
to
be
be
from
the
like
cool
Axos or
criminal.
Yarm or something, and like selling
Yeah.
cut price wains of mithril that don't exist, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know. You want to con people, or you want to do something clever and get away with it. You want to do like, I'm trying to think of a character who's an example, like from popular, like Moriarty, I guess, but not really. He's kind of a bit more evil. But that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Something a bit more fun.
yeah.
Like mustache twirly, like, ooh, I got away with it because I was
It's
charming and
it's like an
clever.
open secret that you're a criminal, but there's no evidence. No one will rat you out.
Yeah,
In any case that's brought against you
yeah.
just falls flat.
Something you have to plan, and then you do it, and you feel like you've actually achieved something because you put in a lot of effort for it,
Mm.
and you got something out of that, and it was clever, and it was within the rules of the game, and that was where the cleverness was. I like that kind of planning and stuff as well. So watch the space. Apparently I'm about to become a career
Yeah,
criminal.
I think you just convinced yourself there. We all listened to
I have, yeah.
your fall from grace.
No one can use that against me. I see. That's meta knowledge. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, we're going to be dropping plenty of that. As mentioned on,
Suddenly there's militia people just like dropping by, talking to me all the time. What's going on with that?
wow, this episode has 300% extra views. They're all from Matt P.
Hmm. Why the magistrates got talk to Isa like just top of their list all the
Yeah,
time? Hmm. Oh man.
but yeah,
But
really
that's
good
it. That
fun.
was player pack time.
Yeah, it's sort of like Friday afternoon. Didn't get to visit the traders because I want to get a hammer. I want to get a big meaty warhammer and call it Girthquake. Um,
Mm.
that is, I need to sort that out at E4. So watch this
Oh God.
space. Girthquake will be entering the scene because we did have Aenus Bane, the longsword.
Oh,
Unfortunately, has
rest
been
in
out of
peace.
commission for quite a while now, for maybe 3 events.
Yeah.
It's old. It's like 6 years old. That sword.
It's
It's
longer than three events. It wasn't in use all of last year.
I haven't
I
been
think it got
using
failed at
it.
E1 last year.
Was it failed at E1 last year? No,
Yeah,
surely
because I
not.
think it was the first one back after COVID. It was failed. You haven't used it since COVID.
Damn. But I don't think I
Yeah.
bothered some. Damn. All right.
Yeah, it's been a long
Cool.
time.
Mike, do you know it's E4 like next weekend after next, Matty? That's a whole
Oh
year of
my
LARP
God,
gone.
stop.
It's
Oh my
2023.
God.
It's nearly 2024 if you think of it
I
that way.
know.
Yeah,
It's
but anyway,
terrifying, isn't
existential
it?
crisis. Let's put that back in its box. Um, drill,
Time passes.
drill.
Drill. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was drill time. So we've mentioned this before, but the Thornborn that is Black Scar, that's the essentially sort of martial collective of stridings and steadings that's known as Black Scar. We work together. We actually have a banner now, a Gonfalon, an actual magical banner, so that we are a mercenary banner. But we also do training, which we've done since the beginning of the year now, I think, since E1.
yeah. Since he won.
And it's awesome. It's before time in on a Friday. So it's a bit of like an extra commitment, but everyone's really up for it. It's some different skills, I guess, different training, and it just gets everyone in the mood to be really cohesive. Everyone's quite confident fighting now, LARP fighting in general, so that really helps the general mood of everybody. But it's just a nice way to kick things off. It means that you get mostly into kit by what, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, it's a good hour. It starts around 3:30 until
I think
an
it's
hour or so later.
it's intended
It
to be two
varies.
hours. So
Yeah,
some
it's some of it like we get lots of
activities
breaks
and
and stuff like
practicing of
that.
actual things. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a warm up as well as it's like a reiteration of actual calls and tactics that we might end up using.
yeah. Calls,
Uh,
as in not combat calls, but in this case, are orders, are shouted
Stormborn
orders,
calls,
like
yeah.
charge, retreat, blah blah blah, code words for that.
Yeah,
And
we change them sometimes, so it's good to reiterate them. And because you mean it's a game, we have different people that show up to play. It's a good way to have a quick practice with the people who are at that particular event.
yeah,
So
it's good
maybe
for newbies
suddenly
to
have
get
loads.
chonked in.
Yeah, if we have loads, then we can go like, oh, maybe we'll split this event into two teams, and these will be the leaders, and you can identify who's in charge. You can identify who you're fighting with for the rest of the event, that kind of thing. It's just a nice way to do it.
Yeah, and I think you touched on the key word there is cohesion, where
Mm.
during game time you want to be getting on the game. So I know some people run training and stuff, and it's good, gets people practicing how to fight, using a spear,
Mm.
using a sword, using a shield.
But very hard to arrange
Yeah,
during game.
hard to arrange, but that's mainly around individual skill. This for us is, I
Hmm.
think, what sets us apart from pretty much every other unit on the field, except maybe the Dunnings, is that we are drilling as a unit as opposed to an individual surrounded by other
Yeah,
individuals. It's
yeah.
group calls, group marching. We even go for a little group run. I've got the
Well,
Goose
so
Battalion was outstanding on my list.
you were all the ducklings, weren't you? Quack, 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 quack.
Yeah, we went for a little run down Murder Alley, and then we'd sprint
It
back up to
wasn't
the top.
intended because you were supposed to just run and do the whatever it was. I think it was cheese it,
Mm,
and then come back. But you just kind of kept going, and there were a few of us who because I'm being an archer, I'm not training in with the group. And I was just sort of watching, and Henry and I just sort of watched you go, and then you just left. We were like, we could sort of hear you in the
just
distance going
took my
around the songs of
ducklings.
story circle,
Yeah,
around the standing circle, eventually coming back, and you were still running. We're like, well done. You know what? Well done.
yeah. I've got a lot of energy at LARP, and Friday afternoon drill is a good way to it's to
Mm.
pulling the
You got to
ripcord
make sure
of the
you
mower.
exercise your thorns. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they need a good amount of
They need
enrichment.
walkies. They need ducklings.
Quack quack quack. It was very funny. So if you saw a bunch of armored larpers running around on Friday before time in, going quack 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 quack, now you know why.
Mm, yeah.
And you know,
Oh,
I'm sure it bonded you all together.
it does. It really does, actually. And especially if we have new people, they like even never LARPed
Yeah.
before. It breaks them in. You're like, cool, get loud, get emotive. These are your friends. Recognize the
Hmm.
faces.
You get a chance to practice like pulling your blows and things that you really can't practice, and except if you're in a battle or someone's there showing you how to do it.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to go to the new player things because there's just so many new players now. So I'm really proud that how much investment and responsibility everyone takes in when they bring new people along, making sure that they're gonna get the best out of it. It's really nice.
Mm, yeah. Got our keep our status up, keep us drilled and tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goose Battalion, 10 out of 10.
I think you're calling Goose Battalion. It was clearly ducks. It was
I don't
so
know.
clearly
We had the
ducks.
aggression of geese. The aggression of geese.
That is true. Ducks with the aggression of geese. I
Yeah.
can accept that.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
what's next?
After that is I've got rush into kit slash face paint
Yeah,
and time
time
in.
in. Oh yeah, you had the Black Scar meeting. We also do a meeting at like 4:30. No, 5:30, just before time in. Just so that everyone can catch up, talk about anything that's on the agenda before everyone scatters to the
Girth.
winds. Girth is an important agenda item. Make sure it's top of the list for all of your meetings at
Mm.
E4. Thank you.
Yep.
Um, I don't know where that came from. Where did that come from?
So Girth is between Aaron, Keelan, Ben, and I. It's been an in joke for a little while, ever since we went
Uh huh.
to Amsterdam last year, actually. Because
Oh yeah.
it's just a funny word, right? It's just a funny word.
Girth.
And
It is
then
quite
this flight attendant was putting Aaron's bag away, and unprompted, the attendant went, "Oh, it's quite a girthy bag, isn't it?"
funny.
And we
Oh
just
no.
fucking lost it, and it's just been a
Oh
funny
no.
word since. And the big joke is that girth is the eighth virtue of the empire, and it's all
Yeah.
about being
It's
like mighty,
it's a
broad,
small H
girthy.
heresy.
Yeah, it's actually it's
It's
quite a
mostly a
flexible
prototype, but
virtue.
it's
Yeah, you
if
got a
it's
girthy
started as
pouch.
a joke, but it's really starting to catch on, which is
Yeah,
the dangerous part.
it's like an all-in-one virtue because you've got like, oh, look at the girth on his, on him. Like he's got a big money pouch, or she's just
Mm-hmm.
solo charged a shield wall, girthy move kind of thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's
Mm-hmm.
really it's like you said,
Taking up
it's really
space, yeah.
it's
Commanding presence. It's
yeah,
girthy, it is.
yeah, and we do have a champion of girth now actually within Black Scar.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose we do.
Yeah, we do the table breaker, but we'll come on to
Oh,
her
new
next.
player. Well, I mean, right now, because
Yeah, it's time
well,
in.
no, did we have the meeting first? Did your table situation kick off
It was
before
immediate time in.
Rizard?
It
Okay.
was pre resolution of Larkin arc.
Yeah, go on
Yeah.
then. Please explain to the lovely folks at home why you owe someone a table.
Right. So we have a good friend called Finn. Finn plays Riflin, who's also in Blackscar. Riflin Kraken's cool. Great character, great player. 10 out of 10 would roleplay with
Yeah.
repeatedly and have done for the last few years.
Hmm.
They've got a lovely partner called Boppy, and Boppy was brand new to Empire this event.
Yeah. She finally came along.
Yeah,
Woo.
she did, and unbeknownst to me, I was recommended as the person to basically attack as a way of like breaking the ice, because it's like your first LARP event. Like, oh, how do I talk to people? Anger,
Get into
anger
character.
at
Yeah.
Lindir. So
It's
she picks up a two-handed bearded axe and goes, "You, I've been hunting you for the last 3 months," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm sat there, smug little bastard as usual, with my little tankard, having a little drinky, and
and your chunky stacks.
yeah, my chunky stacks.
Feeling
And
really great about yourself.
yeah, and then suddenly there's this axe in my fucking nose. Just like, I owe you, you owe me a table.
Just shouted it from across the camp and then just like was on you
Yeah, it's like,
straight away. It was
oi, yo.
amazing.
And I was like, oh. So yeah, very confrontational. Loved it though, because it transpires that Finn had said to Boppy, Chris is up for everything, which is true.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
do it. He'll roll with it. And
Mm-hmm.
like with any good improv, it's yes and. So I was like, yeah, I broke your table. Didn't realize you were gonna, chase me about. Are you in love with me? Kind of thing. It's nice and sarcastic. She comes back with, my father was conceived on that table. And I was like trying to do the maths in my head. I was like, oh, okay, no, that doesn't mean what I think it means. Your father was not born on that table. Your father was conceived on that table.
Oh
Talking about the
man.
fine Miar and
Brief
wood.
shout out to Boppy, who, among all of this, is so in character, has thrown herself into the deep end
Mm,
in an amazing way, and is fully committing to this whole bit.
yeah,
Just the perfect vibes.
yeah, fucking went for me.
Incredible.
Yeah. So basically, some adversarial
Everyone else is
roleplay
laughing.
later. We have a contract where I owe her one table or three thrones, and there's an asterisk next to it. There is the asterisk doesn't lead anywhere. It's my get out of jail clause. But somebody,
So you can add an
Tiki,
asterisk later
decided to write down
to
what the
fill in.
asterisk meant on the back of the contract post
Oh
signature.
man.
So yeah. Um, so every time it gets brought up and I don't pay Boppy,
Contract fraud.
yeah, I owe another like 2 crowns or something. So I
Oh
think
my
I'm near. I
god.
think I'm nearly at 4 thrones now for this table that I allegedly broke in
It's like
downtime
your
in a bar
own
brawl.
written version of a freezing brand, except it doesn't cause you pain when you're asked about it. It causes you financial
It
problems.
does, yeah. It degrades the girth of my purse, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a
It's
problem.
anti-girth. That's very unvirtuous.
No, it's anti-girth indeed. So
Mm-hmm.
that was 6 o'clock, maybe 15
Yeah.
seconds past. Axe in the face. That calms down, and then we turn to a large group meeting and a little bit of yelling, don't we?
This was exciting because for those of you following along on the journey, my
That's
beloved
nobody. That's
character.
nobody.
Well, shut up. I can believe it. I can dream. So basically, my character Larkin died at E1 um, for various reasons. On battle,
Yeah,
through Sentinel Gate,
died a
big
bad case of death.
deal. I got a very bad case of death. Terminal, in fact.
Oof, oof, terminal death. Yikes, that's
Oh,
bad.
I know. Yeah, real lethal that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, last one, E2, I came back briefly as Larkin for my Whispers through the Black Gate to drop the spicy information. Which I don't know. What would do you reckon? Do I say it or do we leave it? Because it's not like super well known, but it's
So,
pretty well known.
like, so there are other
It's
podcasts.
kind of it's Black Scar internal information, kind of. And if you've heard it elsewhere, that's because you know the people who know that information.
Yeah, there are other podcasts, not naming any names, that reference some stuff we've done over the weekend, and they've left it like they've said there are other podcasts. Go talk to them. So I feel like
Yeah.
we're
What, are we just
obliged.
going to bounce it back?
We're no, we're obliged now to spill the beans. We've been cornered,
uh,
intellectually
we can't
cornered.
just like forever say there's other podcasts until like
Well,
some
there are other
podcast is like,
podcasts, but they
there
will
are
not
no other
talk about this.
podcasts. So we can't say it. Yeah, right. So basically, there was a no one knew how I died. I see. No one knew how I died. OCs. I mean, they knew how I died. It was to the Jotun, but no one knew the real details that I did.
Yeah, we all thought it was
Of course.
Caro.
Yeah, everyone thought because I'd in my sort of post-death splurge been like, oh man, it was really, I guess ironic in a way. The last person I remember seeing, like, IC and I guess OC was um, lovely Rob who plays Caro.
Plays
Sorry,
Caro.
who
Present tense. Present tense.
he plays Caro, who at the time was general with me before my death. And it was kind of a bit spicy, like, oh, everyone was going, oh, bring it up at the whispers. It'll be really like, maybe it'll set something off. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on the information that I actually OC had a pretty solid argument for someone else to be responsible for my death.
A
And if
certain
someone a
senator.
bit spicy, a certain ex-senator,
A certain current general.
current general, great friend, and very well-known imperial hero, Rizart Dancewalker, who had been the field marshal for that battle, um, essentially asked. So I'm going to tell you the actual story because no one seems to remember the real details. I am hearing this whole debacle about we've only got 5 minutes left before the gate closes. That whole situation. So I'm
The
like,
Talus timer.
okay, we're getting people out. People are leaving. I got the egregores out. I think I turned to Black Scar and I said, it's done. We're finished. Leave. I can say this because Larkin has impunity now because she is dead,
Yeah,
and no one
it's
else
no
knows
longer
this.
current game, so go nuts.
It's not exactly, and there's no reputation to ruin because no one knows the Sicey. But yeah, one of the last things I said, get Black Scar out. Said that to Lothy. I said, just leave. Go. Just leave. I want to know that you have all made it out safely. That's a responsibility that I have right now because she was still a Black Scar. But then on towards the back of Navarre, I see Rizart, Field Marshal, and some of his team. And he turns to me and he's in his mode of super focus. And I was like, Rizart, everyone's leaving. We've got to get out. Wintermark is crumbling. We're all going down at this point. And he goes, hold the flank. I need you to hold the flank. And headed off. I was like, guess I'm holding
Yes,
the flank
Daddy
then.
Rizart. Right away, Daddy Rizart.
I mean, in this moment, all of Navarre is gone.
Yeah.
The whole of Navarre had already gone through. Rizart was on the furthest out point. So that by the time he got to me to say that, I am one of the last people on the field. Everyone else has come. Wintermark has basically left.
Well,
And
I
he
mean, that's
said,
not surprising.
hold the flank, right? And I stepped forward to try and hold this flank. And one of the first things I saw was Kit's character Helak go down to a cleaved leg. And I'm like, well, I'm holding the flank, and that's a good friend of mine. So I ran over there to
Rip
try
and
and get him
tear.
up. And that was the end of it, really. I mean, there's more detail, but there's nothing. No, the rest of it's not really that important.
I think if we
What
go
does
back a couple
matter?
episodes, we do cover that.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think probably not because it was only last event. No, the event before last, to be fair, where I actually got the whispers and the thing that I managed to say I see because I'm so proud of myself. I didn't tell a single one of you.
You did not.
I
We
didn't even
like
tell
Caro was
David.
there, and we were ready. We actually had a Hessian sack to put
Yeah,
his proverbial
they
head
were
in.
like, we're gonna
Sack
go and
him. We're gonna beat
we
him.
want someone to
We're gonna dump him in
get
a
for
ditch.
Larkin's death. We're gonna get Caro.
Yeah.
You're so ready. You'd had the little heads up. And then I say, it was Rizart that told me to stay back. And everyone's faces was like blank, completely like, what? It was
It really threw
amazing.
us, yeah, because we were like, well, what
Yeah.
the fuck do we do? Like,
Yeah.
that's different, you know?
What do you do when it's your, like, someone pretty beloved within your group? And it was just such a, he wasn't there. He wasn't at that event, as it
Yeah, which made
happened.
it hard. It landed quite. Because he
Yeah,
wasn't there. There wasn't
I
like
said,
someone we could immediately turn our anger on.
I know, but that's what it was. And it was like, oh. So that's a very
Fast forward to
roundabout way of
E3.
getting
Yeah.
him. Yeah, fast forward to E3, he arrives, of course, and yeah, he was shamed for his actions, and they demanded an explanation for it, and he had the most incredible rant
Mm.
because Lothy was like, "You let her die, blah, blah, blah. You in fact you caused her to die. You didn't just let her die. You know, why would you put her in that situation? All that kind of thing." And Rizart had this blistering speech. I mean, I was kind of standing off listening to this as a character who didn't really know what was going on, loving it, of course, as Dave is getting onto his big rousing speech moment, getting quite angry, like really
He was,
angry at
yeah,
everyone.
his argument was pretty sound as well, because it was
It
like,
was.
she's a soldier. Soldiers die.
Yeah,
Get over it, guys. Come
I
on.
would have asked the same of any of the rest of you.
Mm.
You know, it was a good speech. He said later, but it helped him really get into the mood for everything and the general elections later and everything. So that's nice. I'm glad that helped. But yeah, it was like, oh, okay. And who should walk in at that time
Talus
but
Ashbourne.
Talus Ashbourne,
The
who
Talus
apparently
timer.
they had been sending some nasty letters to each other regarding these circumstances of my death. But having heard this speech of Rizard's, Talus was like, okay, I kind of see where you come from. And Rizard, having heard obviously all about the freezing brand and everything, was like, okay, I do kind of respect like that you've taken responsibility for all this. And they sort of tentatively made up,
Oh no, they
which
hugged. It
was
was
a
he was like
really
the only.
cool. Yeah, it was a cool tense moment though. It was like, ooh,
Like, what's gonna happen here? There's
yeah.
Talis and I needed to have a word about things,
Hmm.
but he turned up at the most poignant moments he possibly could have. But it was
Yeah.
good
I
because
believe Rizart's words were, "What is Talis fucking Ashbourne doing here?" It was awesome. It
yeah,
was a really cool way to start. It felt very in the moment. It went quite nicely into. I mean, we had standing. Standing was sort of. It wasn't the most exciting standing I've ever been in. There wasn't loads to talk about, which was kind of nice in a way because I hadn't really been concentrating on any of it.
there wasn't much Navari plot
Um,
for E3, which is fair because we
no,
we get the lion's share. We cannot be ungrateful. But there was
yeah,
fuck all for Navarre this event, apart from one a couple of very spicy skirmishes. But that was it. That
yes,
was it.
yeah. That's all leading into E4 stuff, really.
Oh
But
yes,
so we basically pretty much from there went into Thorns Council and the general elections.
yeah. There is the side note here: the birth of Standing Knife Fighting Club. Um, I wasn't part of
Which
this, but apparently
is
there is now a knife fighting club behind the standing circle during standing. That's it.
what?
Yeah, apparently so.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been
The
reliably
more you know.
informed that that exists. So if you
The
fancy,
more you know.
crossing blades pre-Thorns Council, standing's the place to be.
Standing knife fighting club.
Yeah,
Wow. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that because
yeah,
I that sounds wild.
yeah.
But
So
then we went to councils,
did
general
indeed.
elections.
Oh damn! I was actually going to run this time. On retrospect, kind of glad I didn't
Mm-hmm.
because my argument was somewhere between a couple of the candidates, but it wasn't as strong as either one.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually arrived what felt like 5 minutes late, but I think according to you, right, like 30 seconds
Yeah.
behind, because
You were
I've been
so
helping
angry
some.
at yourself, and I was like, dude,
I was
it
fucking livid,
just
man.
started.
I
It's
hold
just
high
started.
standards for myself, and when I let myself down, it's the most devastating sadness.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You're there.
I was
General
helping some
selections. It
people.
was Blackthorns.
Yeah, Blackthorn's big Navarre army, as in quite literally girthy. It's a
It's a large
large,
one.
it's a girth army,
Very virtuous.
and it's fast as well, so it doesn't have a movement
Yeah.
limit, right? So
Yeah.
girthy in speed and in size. So
Yeah. It's
quite
it's awesome.
quite the
There
virtuous
is
army.
it's a doubled movement speed. It's a pretty cool army. It was a spicy army last year because it was only last year, literally a year ago, that they had the elections where fellow Black Scar member Clay, who had been the general for 2 years, I think, a
Yep,
very
lost to Caro.
well liked general, lost to Caro. Yeah, indeed. After some other plot things that happened, rather unexpectedly, but there you go. So Caro had done a good, a good whole year.
Hmm.
But there are other people that wanted the title. Said earlier mentioned Rosart Darkswalker, being no longer a senator, kind of fancied it too. So he stood. And OC, we love Dave. I don't know if you'll listen to this. Hi, if you're listening. You smell.
Yeah.
But he's also got a massive OC skill of good public speaking. And there are certain roles within the Empire, general being one of them, I would argue, that do suit people who have good public speaking, good kind of politicking skills.
Yeah, LARP is a
Because
game
they're
of hard
not
skill, and
just
this is one
fighty
of them.
fighty. Yeah, it's what's more of a soft skill to be honest. But yeah, it's an emotional quality. It's essentially you are a military politician. It's not best fighter. It's politician, but for armies.
Yeah, you've got to be electable. You've got to be
Um,
able to speak,
you do.
talk clearly to a large group of people, confidently
Yeah.
and succinctly as well.
Yeah, you got to convince them all to vote for you, and then you've got to do a pretty good job because it's a big job. I think I went into detail. I on another podcast spoke about military council. Someone,
Traitor.
I know. Well, when you get asked. No, it was good fun.
No, I don't. Tell me more.
You have the power here. You can ask whoever you want. No, but it was interesting talking about military council. One of the things that was agreed is for military council and Senate, in particular, those two. There are others that require a lot of knowledge, but those two in particular need a really big commitment from you as a player into the, oh God, my throat.
Oh no, it's not girthy enough. It's too tight.
Yeah, you need a lot of information. You need to know it. You can do these things without that. You can go in completely fresh and just see what happens. You can do that. I don't think anyone would have the best time going into it that way. I think it's recipe for a not very good time. But you can do it. So if you have the ability to quickly learn things, or you already know the mechanics, etc., and you're good at speaking, it's a kind of a really natural fit. It's an easy choice. And Rizat, having lots of experience in Senate,
Yeah,
was a very
very
good
powerful
speaker,
speaker.
of course.
Good logical argument
Yeah,
of basically let's finish our breakfast and actually wipe out the Jotun in a decisive
yeah.
move.
He
Confidently
had good
said,
answers.
yeah,
Good
good,
way of talking to the Thorns who vote for it. There
very
were a few others. There
emotive.
was like I think 5 that stood for it.
Yeah, two total, not total newbies, but two first-time standers who'd never been to the
Yeah,
tent before. I think one of them was a Navarre captain, the other one I didn't recognise. There was
yeah.
Clay as well. Caro obviously stood again, and then Riz.
Oh,
Um,
and Maddock.
and Maddock, yeah, Maddock again.
Wait,
Um,
did he? Actually, no, he didn't.
it feels like he
I
was
don't think he
there.
stood for it. No, he did. I don't think he was there, but
It
I don't
felt
think
like
he
there was
stood for it.
six.
I don't. Oh, maybe he.
That's bad, isn't it? If we
No,
can't
no,
remember
no,
you
no.
were
He
there,
definitely didn't. He definitely didn't stand for it for this one.
okay. Well, there's definitely
Yeah,
there's a lot of people
there
standing.
there was a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, and as usual, these elections they do try and be quick paced about them. Drags a little bit, but we get to the voting, and Rizart wins with a overwhelming majority. The queue is
yeah.
stretching
It was a
back
good win.
into the forest.
Hmm.
Very satisfying.
Yeah,
A few accusations of Black Scar being a voting block because we were kind of stood at the back, choosing our candidate, which is basically going
there
to be
were 2
Clay
Black Scar
or
candidates, so they basically got to pick between the two. But
yeah,
we've said this before: we don't vote as a block in the sense that you are told who to vote for, and that's what you do.
yeah,
We vote in a block because there's a lot of us that want to vote for the same people, but there's no requirement to vote for. We're
yeah.
very
We voted
careful
against each
about the
other.
way we use our power. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have done that.
we're not
We
coherent
are
enough
very
politically.
careful. There is certainly, I can see why people think that way, but we're very aware that that could start to become a thing, and that's not the way that we want to play the game.
Yeah,
That's
I want to say we're
not
not
what
power
Black Scar
gamers,
is for.
but we do have
We're
quite a few
not.
hats in the group, so
Yeah, but
perhaps difficult to
independently,
defend. But yeah,
completely independently, they those are not ones that Black Scar have just voted in. They're people who've earned those votes independently of Black Scar.
true,
Just so
true.
happens. I mean, we're quite a large Thornborn, for one thing. Um, but it's a mix of OC skill match and commitment and people wanting to go for that because not everyone wants to go for a hat, of course.
No,
But yeah,
sometimes it's thrust upon you. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you're not watching out for it, and yet it comes.
yeah. So
We'll get there
yeah,
later.
Riz wins.
Anyway, I turned around and I testimonied Riz because when I, as Larkin, won, Dave gave me a testimony, and I got very weepy about it, and it was really nice. So my goal was to do the same, and I did. I almost got him to tear up. I was like,
Nice.
yes,
Yeah,
did
he
it.
was happy. He was very happy about that. Didn't
He was
expect it.
delighted. Yeah, he was really delighted. It was a good speech. It was a good session. I'll say something slightly controversial.
Please do. This is the
Bear
Dead
with me.
Shattersong Diaries.
We're already dead. What can they do to us?
Yeah.
So obviously
I
there were
mean, we
2
could be
completely new
cancelled.
candidates. We could.
Absolutely could.
You just keep recording.
Oh, okay, fuck.
Yeah. There were 2 new candidates who stood, 2 new players who stood. And both of them stood and said, I don't think I'm ready for this, or I don't think I'm going to get it, but I'm standing for the experience. Right? or to get my name out there, I think was the specifics. And I completely respect that. I think it's a good way to do it. What I do think is that when you have 5 candidates, we don't have a lot of time for these things. If you're standing just to get your name out there, I think that what would be best, and it would be a great way to run these elections, is for them to do their initial speech of this is who I am and why I want it, and then to sit down and not answer all the questions, because there was not anything that could be added to the rest of the voting. Um, there just wasn't. They couldn't say anything in answer to those questions that the other people hadn't already said.
I think the
Do
reels
you
are
see what I
similar.
mean?
If you want to, dear listeners, if you want to be in the military game, is go to military council tent.
Yeah.
From a person who
Well,
hasn't
one
done
of them
that,
is
a
now an
hundred,
adjutant.
yeah, 100% of the people I see go into that tent end up in either adjutant or general roles. And
Mm-hmm.
within like 1 or 2 summits, we have a pretty high turnover for generals. So our most experienced one has
Yeah.
2 summits under their hat. In fact,
Oh God.
there's a joint first for most experienced is given by is owned by Sol and by Owen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to get into the game, it's easy. They die lots. Just go to the tent and find out, and then you can stand up and say, "Yes, I go to the
It is
military
the
council
best
tent.
way.
I take part in the game. I know what I'm doing. I've had some practice. Boom, you're
Yeah.
in.
I
Easy."
think it's more just it's a big game. We know there's some scaling issues. And I commend and encourage people to put their name out there, get their faces out there. It is the best way to start things like that. But I do think that when it comes to quite a time limited election, there's a point where you can do that part and get that PR and then step out and let the rest happen, um, without sort of just impeding a little bit. It sounds mean. I know this sounds mean. That's why I said it's slightly controversial. This is very much my opinion on what would be the most
Matty is a
efficient way
bully,
of doing it.
confirmed.
I'm a bully and I hate people. I hate joy and passion and enthusiasm. No, I love the enthusiasm. I really do. I think it's fantastic. I want to see more of it. I just know that things like elections take so much time. You need civil servants. You have to get things like, particularly the generals elections. We have a very strict deadline of generals elections. They have to be done by 7:30, because you have to then get down to the hub, be instated with all of the senators. So that's already a difficult get everyone down there, and then you have to make it to military council before 8, by 8 o'clock. So it's a really tight turnaround. So although it feels like probably the best way to do that, I think when you've got something like a senator's elections, it's a much more wide open
It's less time pressure.
time scale to do it. Yeah. The
But yeah,
generals
there's
elections,
your
it's a problem we have of the generals elections anyway. But
yeah.
there you go.
On to more
I
wholesome
still
things.
commend them. What? There's more
Yeah.
wholesome
There is more
things?
wholesomes, yeah, because we were trying to do the whole weekend in a single episode. We gotta step up the
Oh,
pace.
we do. We've got half
Yeah.
an hour left.
One day we'll have an episode without talking about the military council. I swear to God.
We
But
will
it is
not.
not this
It's
day.
my love, my first and
Yeah.
only love.
um, General election aside, we go to the Novarchus election.
Oh,
Basically, I'll read you out what I've written on my notes and leave it there. My God, the sweetest and purest thing I've ever seen. I need a bottle of that vibe to get humanity through the darkest of days.
sounded really nice.
Yeah, it was a very friendly election. There was like 15 of us. We picked from Silver and one of the Iron Hill. Oh, I've forgotten the player's name. Oh, I'm a bad person. Fuck. Anyway, shit. It was a very close
Is it
election.
Bramble? Is it Bramble?
Uh, oh, not confident enough to say yes or
I
not.
think it might be Bramble.
All right, let's go. Let's go with
We
codename
apologize.
Bramble. Um, and
No.
yeah, she ran against Silver. Silver won by 1 vote, which is like just the most perfect victory because no one feels bad about that. But
Mm-hmm.
Silver's been sort of like the figurehead for the Novarchus for quite a while now. Totally deserved the
It
role.
was deserved. Very
But
deserved. Yeah,
Bramble's
he
been
did a
putting
great job.
codename Bramble has also been putting loads of effort in as well, and there's now 2 IC for the Novarchus, and it all worked out very well. And like the speeches they gave were very concise, simple, clear goals. Very honestly, were better than some of the general speeches. Let's be blunt.
I can
And
believe it.
one of the questions I got to ask was, "What's your favourite colour of fletching?" That was the style of election this was,
Can you
and it
say
was
wholesome?
outstanding. Yeah, it was brilliant. So Navarcha's once again
Hey,
favorite gang to
Chris,
hang out
did
with.
you hear about Scarecrow?
Sca- No, right, no, no, you're not doing this to me. Not doing the outstanding in this field bullshit.
If you want to really annoy Chris, or
Please,
probably Lindy, I
both.
see, anytime and you do like this word, that's why it works. Anytime he says outstanding, ask him about the Scarecrow.
Uh,
And that's all I'm going to tell you. Just ask him about the Scarecrow.
it's been my word for the last like 3 months now. Like outstanding. Maybe it's a
It's so
work thing,
good.
but yeah, purest thing I've ever been to. That election,
Yeah, it sounds really
outstanding.
nice.
Oh, I said it again. Fuck.
You did, you
Uh,
did. Yeah,
moving on.
no, it was really good. It's a nice selection. It's nice to have that kind of thing. The Novartis has been on the up and up for ages, and it's just good. It's
Yeah,
just good stuff.
they do have
And then they
basically
went down to
guns
the
in a
range.
fantasy setting. It's out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I nearly said it again. Fuck. We did go down to the range. We did go down to the
We
range.
did.
Had a little toddle around, and then
I think I don't know. You didn't go to the range straight away because I went down to the range.
I forgot my bow.
Yeah, you came down, and it was sort of heading towards twilight. It was lovely. They'd booked out the archery range, the amazing archery range, which like big kudos. I don't know who runs it. I
The
never saw
jackdaws.
them.
One of the
The
jackdaws from the league.
jackdaws.
There
Okay,
are
they
other podcasts.
but they did an amazing job, and it's such a nice little initiative. Like it was so much fun to practice. It got me really confident. I was borrowing a different bow once again, forever borrowing bows. But it was really nice to practice and talk to other people about archery and stuff like that, and have a range set up. But it was just wholesome. And then you showed up.
Yeah, I showed up, maybe got one round downrange, and then
Mm-hmm.
some mysterious cloaked figures
Some
approached me
strange hooded
and
people.
cornered me. And at that point, we're going to go into
Oh,
redacted because
we have a redacted.
that is a very very active,
A
spicy,
very active game. Yeah.
aggressively PvP plot that will
Hmm.
play out as it plays out. But
You may see on your screens or hear about in your ears in the future.
yeah, indeed. Oh, you will hear about it because it's gonna end messily one way or the other. But
Yeah,
yeah, the
I get it.
cloaked figures very cool. Couple chaps from High Guard, sort of lurking around behind the forge, looking dead shady, and I loved it. Outstanding. All right.
Excellent. Well, okay, that was that. And then you went straight to the honeypot?
Yeah, so I'd this is part of redacted, but there's been a lot of letters flying around between E2 and E3 about certain things and what to do about them. I'd organised to meet a lot of people at the honeypot at sundown, which is a real edgy and imprecise time to give people for a fucking meeting. So anyway, I show up
Sunset.
like at
No, you
night.
didn't say sundown, you said sunset, which is
Sorry,
kind of a
sunset.
period of time
Yeah,
rather
it's
than a
it's even
specific
even
time.
worse, right? It was just like when the sky goes orange, I'll be gambling, and it's like,
I'm pretty
well,
sure you said to me at one point, "Oh, I need to be there at sunset," and sort of looked at the sky and went, "It kind of is sunset," and you were like, "Oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes. It'll
yeah,
still be sunset."
yeah, exactly.
Just goes
So
to
I
show.
knew that the fallacy of what I was preaching, but
Mhm.
I got there eventually, and it turns out at the end of the event I hadn't missed anyone, but it felt like I had because there was
Oh,
about
good.
6 people who wanted to meet me, and the honeypot, best gambling den in Varushka, TM,
Yeah,
is
really, really good
the gang
place.
house. Yeah, and I missed all of them.
We need to
One
start
of them
bringing our
showed
own
up.
chairs.
We should. I mean, we do have our own chairs, but they've got nice chairs, good
Yeah,
chairs.
we want to fit more people around the table.
Yeah. So that didn't matter though. The fact that my meetings didn't show up because we turned it into an opium den. Um,
It was great.
I had a girthy pack of drugs, and I'd forgotten because I forgot my notebook this event what the hell they did. So we just experimented on each other. So I put 5 thrones on a bar tab, and then started dishing out drugs to the gang.
Amazing.
So everyone started getting giggly and high. We were just having drinks and a good chat. Then, because we're good friends at Honey Pot, we got to actually run our own game of blackjack, and I got to be the dealer
Yeah,
for
you
it.
were running that
And it just felt like
when I
such a
showed up.
gang, It just felt like such a gang, and it was so
Mm-hmm.
fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, We did get a
Yeah, because what Black Scar want to be like, as from my perspective anyway, is if anyone has ever seen, and I hope you have, the 1980s vampire movie The Lost Boys, I'm pretty sure that's basically what Black Scar would like to be as a vibe. That's the sort of rough and ready, maybe slightly bad, but also kind of fun.
yeah. We're
You don't know
definitely
that
not on the.
reference. I know you don't. I'm
No, I
speaking
do not.
only to the people who listen who've seen that movie. We want to be the Lost Boys.
Yeah, the actual OG Black Scar was based off of Dog Soldiers, which is an awesome werewolf
Mm.
shoot 'em up film. But that's more old school than I'd say what it's evolved into nowadays. But yeah, we're definitely not on
Yeah,
the
it's
good
a very
end of the
different thing
spectrum.
now.
We're not evil.
No.
What we're doing is certainly the right thing, but the way we approach it is very neutral. So, one moment will be single-handedly defeating Jotun, and on the other hand will be, shooting up loads of drugs inside a gambling den. And it's just part of the balance, the yin and the yang. But speaking of
Oh,
balance,
yeah.
we saw Nunn in one of Tiki's hands, who plays Blythe now. Well, sorry, his name's Henry. He used to play a character called Tiki. We only know
We've
him
never
through
called him
LARP, so
anything
his
else.
name is just Tiki. And now his name is Blythe, which is very jarring because you're only allowed
Yeah.
one name, right? But anyway, he got a quad four. He pulled out a pair of fours, split, pull another one, a four, split it again, got another four, and then he won two hands, lost two of those hands. But it was the most
It
outrageous
was
hand of
incredible.
blackjack I've ever seen. We're just
I forgot
screaming.
about that. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
The fourth one, I think, floored us all.
yeah, like people like
I've
started
never
stepping
seen anything
outside for
like it.
air. It was crazy,
It was mad.
absolutely
It was so
crazy.
much fun.
Yeah,
It was
we
good times, and the rat was there.
the
We
rat,
love the
yeah,
rat.
the busty rat. We also
Yep.
had our Dornish friend, who had robbed at E2 in front of his partner, I believe,
Mm.
for two thrones. He came back and he started gambling with us, and he started
He
talking.
recognized you.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, it's you."
Hey,
And
you
then,
robbed me.
but that's the thing.
This
I'm
is
not sure.
icy. He was like, hey, you robbed me. And then I think you said, wait, which Dornish one?
Yeah. Do you
Which
have
was
any idea
not
how
the
little that narrows it
Pegasus
down?
one.
I got to pull that line, and it was
Yeah.
outstanding. Mm,
Yeah, it was a good time. It was
yeah,
it was it was a very nice night. It was good
yeah.
fun. It was just a nice sort of environment. This is what I mean. I feel like this event was really just a nice time. There was just a lot of like wholesome kind of getting together, being friends again, etc. That kind of thing. But all I see, which was really nice.
Mm,
We just felt like there was time for it this time.
yeah. And we had a couple of other randoms who joined us who were very cool. Forgotten their names. Don't even know what nation they're from. They were just cool. One had an eye
Hmm.
patch and had a
Yeah.
fantastic singing voice, I think. Or they were a poet. They were the ones singing the rat song that we had heard earlier on in our travels.
Yes. Oh, that happened on Thursday.
Was that Thursday? Yeah, right, Thursday.
Thursday
Yeah.
night we were walking up from Traders, and if you haven't gathered, Chris has got a bit of a rat thing.
I love rats. They're so cool.
It's just sort of a rat thing, right? One day I'm going to buy you a rat. It's going to happen.
It would honestly be the
It's
best
on my
present.
list of
Yeah.
things to do.
It wouldn't even have a
But
cage. It would just
we
live in my
were
house.
it would just be your friend.
Yeah, it'd just be
Your
a
best
bro.
friend. But we were standing like in Traders in the dark, and we hear from the darkness someone singing a song, and we kind of catch the word rat. And I think neither of us really believed that they were singing about rats straight away. And then after all, we were like, "Oh my gosh, it's a song about rats! It's amazing!" Turned out the next day they were the singers.
Yeah.
It was so
I had to
weird.
look at you
So
like,
then you
did that
brought out the
actually
rat.
happen? Did that actually happen,
Yeah.
Matty? Like,
We were standing there going, no, they're not singing a rat song. I can't believe, actually, we should have run after them and been like, wait, what are the
mm,
lyrics?
yeah.
We need to
Fate
know.
has a way of bringing those who belong together, and the honeypot
That's
was
Chris and
the
rats.
sinkhole of fate. Yeah,
That's where all the rats ended up.
it
Yeah, it
is.
was
Yeah,
good. It was really
best rat
nice.
den. Yeah, and then we
I
got to
hope,
have our walk around.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't remember why this was. I think everyone ran off and we kind of just were slower than the others because you were helping pack up and stuff.
Yeah,
And we just went for a wander, and it was just walk around. I think we went up to God because you wanted to get the thing hallowed, and I had
yeah. Get my
some
first Halloween to
stuff.
support the skill. I wanted a ribbon.
Yeah, Yeah, you were trying to hallow the bow.
Yeah, Conviction.
Yeah,
What a
you
name.
wanted it. Well, so it starts with we're going up to God so that Chris could do hallow his bow to
What I
courage.
thought was going to be Courage. Yeah.
Yeah, only to find out he was never dedicated to anything. So
Nope.
you had hallow, but you couldn't dedicate it to any of the virtues. I can dedicate, and I had been desperately waiting for an opportunity to dedicate someone to Pride, and you were probably right near the top of my list. So right there in the God queue, um, I mean, I didn't do the dedication. I could see the hesitation on the poor member of crew's face as I was like, and I am going to do the was
To
it
the
the
virtue, but it's not Girth.
oh my
Dedicate
god,
you.
what's it called? It's
Anoint?
not the physio.
Dedicate?
What's the performance
Ritual?
called? Yeah, but like in a mechanics way.
Roleplay?
That's
Appropriate
it, the
roleplay?
role
Yeah.
play. Yeah, I'm gonna do the role play outside of the gate. So got you to Pride, and then you hallowed it to a frankly amazing option.
Mm.
I think it's better than any of the Courage ones would have been.
Yeah.
And I named your bow as well.
Yeah.
I'm
Conviction,
really
the
pleased about that.
longbow. Very cool.
Conviction, the longbow,
You feel the
the
need
hallowed
to
of Pride.
cleave to what you believe to be right, or something like that? Or
Mm,
your options are the correct ones? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's quite funny.
it's the your actions are the right ones, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm right, you're wrong, but
Yeah.
I'm also a sniper rifle.
It's a dangerous one for both Lindy and Chris OC to have
Yeah,
as
it,
a
it does give
as
me
a way of
legal
driving your
agency
game.
to do what I want.
Yeah, it's literally a Ron Swanson "I do what I want" card.
Yeah.
Just look at the Halloween here. I've got this. But it was cool, and then we just wandered around up through the marches, looked down over the lights, listened to all the noises. It was just nice. If you get a chance, stand at the top edge of the marches and look down over the whole of the field at night, maybe early evening time, and just listen to the voices and sounds. You can hear songs and stories. It was amazing. I think we stood there for like 2 or 3 minutes just in dead silence.
Mm,
It was amazing. That's what it's about.
profound.
Very profound. We didn't decide anything though.
No, we did not.
Decisions had already been made.
Yeah, the decision had been made to do something profound, apparently. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was an outstanding view, and it led us into Navarre again
Uh huh.
to the sound of bombs.
Well, not the sound of the word bomb.
Yeah,
So, yeah, because that was that one we heard? I suppose I would have heard
yeah,
of
it's
the
Friday
Village
night because
Council.
we did the battle on the Saturday,
Yeah,
right?
we did. Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, we did. It was unbelievable. Oh,
Yeah.
we also did the tarot. Was that
Oh my
night?
gosh, no,
Was that
this is
Friday?
Balthazar the Vinter. We've missed a whole
Was
section.
that Friday though? I'm not sure. It might have been Saturday early
No, because
evening.
it was on my list to do, and I did it after the honey pot because Saturday was just a. But
I wonder
because
if
Saturday
maybe it was
night was
dark. Maybe it was
that
dark.
certain place that you
Possible.
love so much. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, a
Oh no,
Friday
we
night we
did.
went to the Grapevine because
Yep.
as of last
I've
summit,
never been there.
yeah, Gwen attempted assassination. They wanted
Mm-hmm.
part of the story. They owed me a pint. Went there, got a pint,
Mm-hmm.
got a tarot reading from Ada, which is very cool.
Yeah,
Um,
the tarot readings were really cool.
yeah, I can't
Um,
remember mine being very. Oh no, no, it was impactful, but
yeah,
we'll leave that. the the big
mine was
thing was
difficult
a
to remember.
song that they sang about
Oh my gosh, the most incredible, like OC, this guy was amazing.
mm,
He had a
as a
great
bard.
voice.
Yeah.
He just was singing song, which is about the name of their chapter, Balthazar's Vineyard.
No, no, it was about the founder of their chapter,
Yeah,
Balthazar
but I think
the
it's
Vinter.
but I think their chapter is called Balthazar's Vineyard.
Is it?
I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm
Huh.
not 100%, but I'm
That
pretty
sounds too
sure.
nice for Highguard.
Well, it's what it is.
Huh.
It might not be, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
Chapter of the Shattered Grape
Um,
is more more their vibe.
it's a bit more there, but it was so nice. The song was amazing. the two of us were sort of standing in the middle of this clump of people. We started singing along, just pure joy. It was just Friday. This is what I mean. It was just a pure joy.
Mm.
Nothing better. We're just drinking in the atmosphere, singing along. You had to like pound your fist on the table at some point, and I
Oh
vaguely
yeah,
remember. Oh, it was really good. God, that was cool.
that was so cool. It was
Yeah,
spontaneous, not planned. Beautiful bit of timing.
yeah.
10 out of
It
10
was like a
experience.
movie scene. It was a movie scene. Someone went,
Yes.
"Oh, sing the song," and the guy was like, "Ah, no, okay," and they started singing the song, and we were just there. Main character in a movie moment. So cool.
Yeah.
And then we sat outside, got our tarot readings. Were besieged by some orcs.
Yeah.
I
Some
confirmed to an
recognizable
orc that
ort.
yeah, one of them was very recognizable, who we know quite well. The other one I didn't know, but had a little pig.
Oh, fuck's
Tiny
sake, yeah.
little, it had this little like squeaky toy pig. It was just unbelievable. It was so funny. And then I believe he confirmed to me that he did not have any Jotun ancestry, or did not have any Druze ancestry or something.
Hmm.
Or didn't have any Jotun ancestry. I don't remember. But I just remember saying, yeah, no, actually, me neither. And he just gave me a look of, huh? Oh, funny.
Yeah.
It was an amusing moment. Can confirm, Isa does not have any Jotun heresy. Oh my gosh.
Jeez. God, you really hit the Jotuns,
Heresy?
don't you? Yeah.
No, no, no. I'm trying to say
Ancestry.
heritage. I'm just like
Heresy.
heresy. Heresy was all that was coming out. I just wonder what that says about me. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, then we got back and we found out that the plan for the next day was we had to get bombs and carry
It is the
bombs
most.
somewhere and
It
bomb the
it must be
Jotun.
said that this year, or like the last couple of events, have been fun, right, for the
Yeah,
battles. And
yeah.
this, in our entirely unqualified
They're quite
opinion,
new.
I think it's because the PD game more confident post COVID. They're happy to do crazier things. They've got the player base like up to a safety level, like with experience. I don't know, blah blah
Hmm.
blah. They've managed to find someone to rent the monster suits off again. Blah blah blah. Um,
Yeah.
there's
There
just
is
so
a
much
new
going
head
on.
of monster.
Is
So
there?
there's
Ah, they're
fresh
making a
blood. There's
stamp on
other
it.
ideas. It's cool.
Yeah, so there's been loads of monsters going around and also funny objectives. And this funny objective was that a herald, sorry, no, an eternal had basically dumped a load of IEDs, improvised explosive devices, at a Regio, and we had to go and close a mountain
No,
pass with it.
Chris, they were making them on the spot.
Ah, even better, even
They
better.
had to wait. We had to go
We
in,
had to
find
defend a
those
bomb
heralds, and
factory.
then they were making them. That's
Yeah,
where High Guard were.
yeah, and they they made these. So they were basically big water balloons with blankets over them
They
and
were
required a
gorgeous.
single person to carry them, and it's like carrying like a boulder almost.
Yeah.
And if you dropped it, woe betide you if you dropped it and the thing went boom.
Instant death. If you dropped it, I believe it instantly dropped you and it put everyone in a 10-meter radius, so 20-meter diameter, to zero hits,
Yeah, and then the person
immediately
who dropped
bleeding
it
out.
was execute
Instantly
effect,
dead. Yeah.
instantly dead. Character is vaporized,
Yeah.
and every single person on Friday night was talking about how funny it would be to get a bomb back to Anvil and where to put
Yeah.
it and what to do with
Yeah.
it. And without going into all of
If
those,
you had a bomb, where would you put it?
yeah,
Well, look, no, 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 but that was because I was in the muster and it was part of the briefing that the heralds somehow, I can't really remember how it came up, but the heralds who were making them had suggested you
yeah,
could bomb the Senate.
yeah, you could
For
literally,
whatever reason.
yeah, they
Apparently, the
literally said
heralds don't like
once
it.
you buy them off us for like 20 Dragon Bone or something, yeah, you
Yeah,
can do what you want with them. Like, I don't know, put it in your Senate building.
yeah.
And that
Well,
flippant
just
comment,
everyone was like, wait, what?
because yeah, we could
Oh,
absolutely bring them back through the gate if we really wanted to. Of
yeah.
course, High Guard are the sensible police, and they
And
stopped us doing that.
Barushka.
And
Barushka were
Varushka,
very good at
yeah.
that. Yeah. In the end, it was good because we needed quite a lot of them
Mm,
to, like, you couldn't heist one of them. You'd
no,
have just
it's
dropped it and that
far too
was it.
public.
But it was good. I remember that when we first looked at them, I remember seeing them and just being like, guys, guys. Well, at that point, Linda, Linda, look. And we just saw
Look.
like people looking very worried, carrying like something under a cloth. We're going, oh, could it
Yeah,
be?
and it looked like they were unguarded because their bodyguard was in a 10-meter radius,
Yeah, far
circling around them.
away.
Yeah, yeah. They did not want to stand close at all. I can't blame
No,
them. Cannot blame them.
no. I think it was the right choice. But it was cool. I remember it was a difficult battle.
Yeah.
But was there anything else that happened in the night? Not really. We could
No,
go straight into
I've
the
put in
battle.
here bed at 2 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. I think we're on to the next day, on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, Saturday. All right, highlights, battle highlights.
Yeah.
Archery, not so good this event. Fighting the Jotun Sons Yagara, which meant there was no returning fire, which meant it was harder to shoot but arrows because you weren't getting any back.
Yep.
But some good times. We had some good fun. I shot a ref. Sorry to Connor, who plays Osric in Wintermark. I shot him pretty much in one of the first engagements. He looked down at the arrow, looked up, saw me, and just did a really sad face as I was mouthing, "Take your hits." He did not, because he was roughing, but it was quite funny. That was my crowning moment. What about you?
I've got a lot of bullet points, so I'm gonna get down off my windowsill and read these out in my chair. So,
Oh, you're on the
uh,
windowsill, are you?
yeah, I'm perching like a bad anvil Batman. So, that's a Splinter Spear joke if any of those lot are listening. So, um, there is a word for the day, but I won't mention it. We'll see if you can guess. First bullet point is getting back to the good stuff post-COVID. I've talked about. Second point, I agree. Difficult start for the archers, no one firing back, and Jotun have heavy armor. So the impact we
I
had
missed the
was
Yagara.
very limited. Very
Yeah,
limited.
the Yagara were missed.
Yeah.
Actually.
I think we really struggled on the open field in the opening like third of the battle. I think I got like 4 effective hits. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult. We did get you and I think we ran up into the woods, didn't we, at the start, and we got a few flanking
Yeah.
hits on them. That was
Mm-hmm.
good, but it didn't matter because there was 2 dead orcs out of 80. No one gives a flying
Mm-hmm.
fuck. However, I've put rip and tear in the woods. So once we got through into the woods, I went from 4 kills to 31 in the space of 45 minutes. Very fun time with the monsters.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it
Oh
was.
yeah, the whole bits when we were in lines and we were running forwards. There were a good couple of line holds that were still quite fluid,
Yeah,
which meant that you were sniping out people's legs but still getting arrows back, and that was fun. That was just aim and shoot.
yeah, it was. It was a lot more fluid. I've put here point. What's this? Point five. Shields are the apex predator. They are.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that
Mm-hmm.
2v1 we had, that shield boy.
Yes, which I found out was Harry Barone, who
Yep.
plays Watt, who was having a great time being a Lassambrian, and we basically dual hunted him like wolves until eventually a large reinforcement of Jotun appeared, so we scarpered.
Yeah, and then the dread
But it was
shields
so much fun.
ran. Like this is an IC opinion, not an OC one. OC it was fair enough, but IC I was really winding up Rook and just going like, your unit is full of cowards, led by a mongrel. Stand and fight.
What?
You have a 1-to-1 ratio. Are you heroes or are you cowards? And
Oh my
getting really
god.
annoyed. And they were like, "Oh, like a black scar running," and I'm like, "I'm on my own. I'm an archer." Like there was loads of like all the black scar salt that we've heard about. It
Yeah.
surfaced there. They're like, "Oh, here's black scar leaving Navarre again," and I was like, "Ooh,
Oh.
let me show you
Oh.
how it's done." So anyway,
Yeah.
the unit gets rolled and we all flee. So, so we have to back off. But we get back to that point a little bit later, and we start to have a chat with the ref on point
Oh yeah,
7.
Lovely Tin appeared. Wait, is this the same one?
This is I've put my 360 no scope in here.
Oh, I think this was a different moment.
Were you
I don't
there
think it
for
was. I
that?
don't think you were chatting. Yeah, yeah, but I don't think it was chatting with a ref. I think you'd stopped to talk to someone else, a character.
I think it was a ref because in my head it's the same ref. I was like, because it was for like it was quite an OC conversation. And then I was
Hmm.
like, 1 second, mate. And I kid you not,
Oh, maybe it
listeners,
is then. Yeah.
I did the coolest thing I've ever done. I knew there was like in my peripheral about a minute beforehand, there was a Jotun just wandering around. About 30 seconds later, saw them in my peripheral coming up behind me while I was chatting to the ref. And I was like, yeah, fair play. I'm still in play. So I'm having a chat with the ref, using my body to block myself. I'm tensing my bow because it's got an arrow on it. And I just go, 1 second, mate. I turn around, draw loose, hit him straight in the chest, and he goes down. No heavy armor, luckily. But this is one of the shield apex predators, so it goes between the shield and sword. Clonk, right in the stomach. Safe shot, beautiful shot. Monster takes their hits, and I just turn back to the conversation and keep talking. But my head is buzzing with the saints and the
Joy.
chanting of angels of having done an actual blind 360 no scope with a longbow at LARP, saving my own life in the process. It was the fucking coolest thing I've ever done,
It
and I'm
was
getting secondhand
awesome.
adrenaline right now just thinking about it.
It was very, very cool.
It was
Now you've got to do
outstanding.
better. You've
I I
just
I,
got to
I will
outdo
never
yourself.
ever top that ever.
It was
Maybe
really cool.
didgeridoo shot, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've had some cool shots, but that's a memorable one.
yeah. So
We
this is the ref talk though.
Yeah, so we basically we know quite a few of the crew now out of character through various different meetings in Empire and other LARPs. Tin is one of the fantastic refs who is on the battlefield, also does welfare. In fact, he was the one who sat with me while I sobbed my eyes out after I died. So I think he just saw it was an opportunity to just quickly say hi. You know, we were just sort of standing around in the middle of something. He just walked over and went, "You anyone heard anything from High Guard recently?" And we were like, "What has happened to High Guard?" Of course, he's not going to tell us anything.
Yeah.
You
So
didn't
have you
really
seen
want
him
to
the last
ruin the thing.
45 minutes? And I'm like,
But he
no,
said, "No one,
no,
no,
I haven't.
you know, have you seen High Guard in the last 45 minutes?" And we were like, "No, what?" It was nothing we could do about it. There was nowhere we could take that information, and it was just, I think he was fully aware of that. It was very, very amusing because we were both sitting there going, "Oh dear, what's happened to High Guard?" They were fine. In the end, it was fine. They'd just been cut off for a bit. I don't think they lost anyone in High Guard. I
I'm
might be wrong about that.
I'm
I
not
think
sure
they
if
were
he was
guarding the
shitting with us,
Heralds.
but it was a very
It's very
high
possible
adrenaline moment.
it was. As we're sort of standing there, two lone archers. There's some Jotun around. That's it. We're like, um, oh, maybe. You know what? Now I'm starting to think maybe nothing was wrong with High Guard at all.
Yeah, maybe
It's very
maybe Tim was
possible.
fucking with us again.
He was like, ha, 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 I will get them this time.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I met him at Asphodel LARP, the Greek one. He's playing a Minotaur, and they
Oh
were very
yeah.
mischievous. And I think that was perhaps a runoff from our interactions there because we had a great time being
Uh,
the bad guys.
having a fun time. It's
Oh yeah,
nice when you see people out of the labs and stuff. It's always good fun.
oh yeah,
You get to know people and you're like, oh, you. It's good because you know who you can role play with and everything then without having to have a conversation and all that. It's
yeah.
just a nice level of full
You know
knowledge.
what the score is.
Yeah. Well, apart from that, I mean, you'll probably talk to, I imagine, Sol more about what happened with Black Scar because we weren't actually really with Black Scar much for this whole battle.
No, we were not. We'll just ignore them.
They
We'll
were
ignore that
occupied.
spicy thing that happened.
Yeah. We'll let
Yeah,
Sol do that bit.
yeah, we will.
And then it was time to go, pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh, it was time to go when we were over by the fort and we suddenly heard boom. And
yeah,
everyone in the area went, panic. Did one of them explode?
yes.
As someone, and we could see people running, and everyone's like, are they all dead? No, luckily they were not.
It's just like
The
people on
boom
fire,
apparently
like
was the
fleeing a
noise,
building.
it was the warning noise, but then everyone started going, you need to leave. You need to leave now. You need to get out fast because we have like 5 minutes. We had maybe 10 minutes to evacuate the field before the rest of the bombs went off.
Yeah.
and we had like 12 of them. I think we got like an unbelievable amount. We got an overwhelming amount of the bombs, way more than we needed to
Yeah.
do the objective that we needed. So it was going to be a pretty big explosion. So we were legging it, ran off the back, and then I ended up at the back without realizing, having a chat to Connor, who played Osric, about the fact that I'd accidentally shot him earlier on in the battle. Just saying a brief hi as we're wandering back towards the gate when Sigismund and Varushka turned to me and went, Archer, get moving! You have 2 minutes! And I was like halfway still down the field going, oh, fuck, I need to run. So I was just like, bye, and legged it down just in time to get out and not be exploded in Karaman. Woo!
Woo, yeah. We were so
Woo!
excited to
Yeah.
get vaporized. I feel like any
Yeah.
player character who got vaporized would go down in history.
Yeah. I was kind of sad that it wasn't that someone had dropped one. Like, I kind of wanted someone to drop one. I
Yeah,
wanted
we
one
were
of the
all.
heralds to drop one just for fun.
Yeah, what happens when a herald just stops existing?
If a herald did it, right? Because then they would have just disintegrated and everyone else would have been like on 0 hits. But then you can just fix that. Like, you can just get them back up. So it wouldn't have, like, plot wise been an insta kill to a player if a herald had done that. Just saying.
Just like, oh
Notes for
shit,
next time.
bang.
Boom. Oh, perfectly timed cut off screams.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh
it's like that.
god, yeah.
Like that plane in the distance. It looks like it just had a little boy. Oh fuck.
Oh no. Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Oppenheimer too recently.
Yeah.
Too recent. All right. Then the rest of Saturday. Nothing really happened, I guess. Oh, apart from
Yeah. Apart from.
all of that stuff.
Yeah. So I've put in post-battle rest. The stuff in green, I'm leaving for Soul because
Yeah.
that's got a level plot.
I
Um,
honestly, I think probably also that. But I mean, we had a nice gap afterwards. It was we did lose someone, unfortunately. We lost
Drainog,
Liquid Pete's
effing
character,
chat.
Drainog,
Yeah.
which we only really knew for sure because he came back later as a marcher, which was
Mm.
great. Great kit. Um, went to MC, just the usual hanging out. I had a really good time, I will say. I'm not going to go into Military Council too much, but I did have a really good time adjutanting kind of across all three of them, sort of de facto a bit for Blackthorns, but sort of helping out with all three because out of the three current generals, OC, I have a lot of the knowledge, of course. And I've justified it. Icy is not a problem. So we were talking about like options for where the armies and stuff would go. And it felt kind of nice to kind of not be the general, but to be like, here's an option for you. Here's your suggestion. Doing the PA thing of like, this is how you need to do the thing, and this is what you need to consider. These are your options. Which one do you like? It was kind of fun. I liked that behind the scenes influence, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And not being committed to one, but kind of then working for all three kind of felt really cool. So I like that. And they were all on resupply anyway, so it wasn't that exciting.
Yeah. And it was my first brief foray into the MC tent for certain as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it
right at the
was.
beginning before it quite started, while there was
Yeah.
still some Dornish love and glory stuff happening.
Yeah, silly Dornish.
It's a
Um,
nice place to sit down.
yeah, having a sit down in the grass, and who should walk over but our good friend Ravadi, Founders
Mm.
Dance, champion of vigilance.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just having a little chat, catching up. How's the event going? Because of the big empire-wide spell, Ravadi was very high lineaged, so had some really fucking cool, or what do you call them, contact lenses in, like coloured ones,
Oh
bright, like
yeah.
gold, almost cat eyes. And I was just
Yeah.
staring, and I was like, I always felt rude for staring, but I was just like actually making eye contact in a conversation for once. And I was just like, this
Mm.
is captivating, outstanding, and like loads of scales and stuff as well. And I was like, wow, this is just this is just incredible to look at. So really enjoyed that. And then because my brain was fuzzing out, I was just asking questions in automatic, and then it tunes back into the, well, yeah, I'm running for champion of vigilance later today. Do you run against me? Sorry. Do you want to run against me so I'm not unopposed? And I go, sure thing. Great, responds Rafati. You've just got to
This is
sign up
a
in the hub.
surprise thing that will affect us later.
Yeah, this is. Oh, what is it in Telltale games where like the plot is butterfly effect on the screen?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
plot has changed. So,
Mr. Toad will remember this.
oh yeah, Lindy will Lindy will regret this. But yeah, I've got to sign up before 2 o'clock, just before the election for the senator for Miaran. More on that in a bit. But
Mm.
I run into the hub with literally minutes left to spare, and sign up. Put my name down. We're good to go. Literally, as the sign up sheet is being taken off the wall.
Mm. Oh my gosh, was that
It
close?
was genuinely that close. I got there at like 1:59. So
Oof.
yeah, I know, right? Really, really vigilant. And part of the competition is at like 3 o'clock. There's a like a chat, a meet and greet. Think of it like a general or a senator election, but for a
Hmm. Who
religious
elects it?
position. It's kind of like a.
Is it Vigilance Assembly?
It was just I think Vigilance Assembly and also like just random people who cared.
Mm.
The reason well, I think I'm paraphrasing here, but the reason Becca wanted me to stand is that A, you actually have some competition, have more people involved, but B, one of them
Mm.
was a 12-year-old, and it
Yeah,
just
I
would
don't think
have.
they quite wanted
I think
to
the
defeat
optics there
Cobalt.
are just like, well, it's there's a recently graduated citizen from the academy standing for one of the most important positions. Okay, not in the empire, but a very important religious position, you could say.
I mean,
That's
the child's been a cardinal for ages.
is that the child cardinal
Yeah,
champ?
it's not the same one, but
Yeah, not
there has been a kid playing a cardinal.
yeah.
He
The
got
academy
voted.
grads are solid citizens, much more
Mm-hmm.
competent than some of ours. Jockle. But
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
I get asked to stand in, so to stand for the position. Full stop. Um, then I think it's me again, straight in. Riflin, Finn, partner of Boppy, I was talking about at the start of the
Yeah.
episode, is standing for Senator from Yaren.
Yeah, which just to preface, so at some point pre-time in, Finn had specified that Cambions had a special thing this event, which is that you can, if you did a speech about your political rivals, you could regain a hero point, I think, during
Yeah,
battle.
sounds about right.
You could only do it once for the whole weekend. But at one point during the main battle, I ran into Finn that morning, and he turned and into his face he went, and Leafy and Gwen, and then and I was like, oh, here we go. So yeah, I was like, okay, cool. You are going to run for Miara. Guess that's decided. It was amazing. Just like stomping around the battlefield, killing people, empowering people while yelling about political rivals.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what else it's like. I was gonna compare it to like overhearing conversations, like angry political arguments between families in Tesco, but no, Tesco isn't a battlefield, so it's not
No,
quite the same. But
it was very amusing.
only on Saturday afternoons. But yeah,
Mm.
so Riff stood. Riff did not win, unfortunately. Leafy won again, but this election was a real
Mm.
eyebrow raising one for me because Leafy stepped forward, good chat. His proxy, his adjutant
Mm-hmm.
equivalent, was
Proxy,
there
yeah.
as well. However, Leafy did say, "I do not believe my proxy is ready," which is the first like,
Death
bit
knell.
of a yellow flag there. And then a few other things about not knowing what candidate to support for the throne, not knowing what was going on with the city of Seren and stuff like that, or not having not maybe not knowing, but more not having any
No
direction
good
or vision for
answers.
it.
Yeah, I
There were
remember you saying that you'd asked some really good questions and you'd had really dissatisfying answers.
yeah, the egregore even backed me up at one point because I said, what's happening with Seren? Because the league were interested potentially in offering us something for Seren, right? But they've
Hmm.
chosen an actual war zone instead. What does that say about our nation? They've chosen Spiral. It is fucked. It is on fire. It is full of Grendel, and they've picked that over Seren. What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? We've had this opportunity for like nearly a year now. How far along is it? How have we picked?
Hmm.
And we started talking about the City of Leaves and stuff. Took some time, and you're like, well, if you know it's a problem, you agree with me. It's your job to fix it. And then the
Yeah.
adjutant chips in and goes, well, what do you want to happen? And I said, funding, direction, decision. Very simple. And then the Egregore chipped in, was like, yeah, it is concerning. We need to make more progress on this. And I was flabbergasted at that because I was deliberately asking very harsh, tough questions to make Finn look better, obviously. But when the
Mm-hmm.
Egregore started chipping in, I was like, oh, I'm actually onto something here.
Yeah.
Leafy still wins, major, major victory. But I
Yeah.
feel
I feel
like,
sad for Gwen in particular. Because
yeah,
Gwen the proxy had been doing essentially the senator job for the last couple of events while Leafy, for OC reasons, wasn't in attendance.
mm,
So saying that she wasn't ready was such a. Everyone was surprised by that. Like,
yeah.
really quite
And
surprised.
the reason she's not ready is because he hasn't trained her properly. It was such a
Yeah.
it was such a jarring thing to hear from someone who's in theory, a competent senator, and from what I've heard
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, is a competent senator. So
Mm.
yeah, if only there was some kind of person to investigate that at E4. We'll see. But yeah, that's my 2 to 2:30. Um,
God, I was just in military council. I went with Rizart to get a ritual done for the Blackthorns. There's now a sort of mini Regio in Wintermark. So
okay.
anyone in the Wintermark and Dawnfield can do big Imperial Regio stuff up there
Oh,
instead
that's
of having to
cool.
go all the way across. They've got a little ref station, so obviously makes a load of difference for things like that. So we got to hang out there. We caught up with Tillian of Tillian, who is of Hurst Hall, not of the Tillianson, which is a different thing. I found out, and I finally got to meet him, which was nice. We chatted a lot about prosperity. I think it's still quite active, so I'm going to leave the rest of it.
Yeah, that does get wrapped up with the redacted stuff in the
Yeah,
end, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah. Suffice to say that there was an interesting conversations had. I will never forget the visions I saw, the things that I have seen, the crunches that I have heard. Um, they were memorable and mighty. Um, Araceli, so there was some stuff going on with the Brass Coast, which will come up more when you talk to Sol. But one of the very funny things was, did you find out about the election now? Because you knew by this point.
I don't think I did. Um, because I only
This,
found
for
out
me,
after.
this is about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so I've got from 3 o'clock I go to God and get a ribbon for Draenog's Dirge. So a hello,
Hmm.
Pete's drum. Like 4 o'clock, 3:30 to 4. I've written down here. I missed the vigilance pitching. Like I miss the fucking election, basically, because I'm going on a skirmish.
Yeah,
Which was fun. I think Keelan was on that as well because he said he remembers me running off into the woods with my longbow. It's very like
yeah. It's
Ranger of
sad to miss that.
Adilian vibe. Very cool. Um, only note on this, apart from obviously we won because I'm there. Um, the my God, the I don't know how they did it, but the skirmish crew managed to hide a unit of orcs behind a unit of orcs. So I thought a flank was weak.
Wow,
I ran there, shot one, and then 20 suddenly appeared, and I was like, "Ah!" and
nice.
and just I had to run. I had to run. I was like, "Oh my God, where were they?" They were just standing behind slightly taller ones. That was it.
That's amazing. You
Yeah,
should put that in a positive feedback email. They'll love that.
yeah, 10 out of 10. genuinely shat me up with their stealth tactics. It's like an RTS game where
Oh
you've
my
got the
god.
stealth mechanic and they're just invisible until you get within
Yeah.
10 meters, flat out, and that happened to me, and I suddenly realised what it's
Oh
like to
god.
fight Way Watchers in Toes of Warhammer. So yeah, but yeah, and
A
on
real
that,
moving moment.
yeah, that was cool. We had the Tillian thing, redacted.
Hmm.
Then we hit the news just around about 5:36, isn't it?
Yeah. It was. I can't remember who told me. Um, but how did you find out?
I'm actually struggling to remember because, dear listeners, I have some sad news to share with you. Rivadi Founders Dance has unfortunately fallen on the field of battle at this point in the afternoon. The champion of
Everybody's dead.
vigilance for the Empire is dead. And I believe it was actually in the
He was
act of
your
saving
champion.
another champion on the skirmish
Yeah.
and
Yeah. He was your
getting
champion instead.
getting melted.
But you
Um,
know what happens when one person in a title dies, especially when that person overwhelmingly won an election to continue in that post, um, is that the title needs filling. And sometimes it just makes sense to pass it on to the person in second place. Who is in second place in this election? Just remind me who was running. There was a 12-year-old.
yep,
There
a
was
Dunning.
one of the Dunnings
So
of
a second
Wintermark,
12-year-old.
and one Lindy Thornhart who never showed up to the thing and just entered because he was asked. Who got the second most amount of votes?
I believe if you look at the wiki page for Champion of Vigilance, it was Lindy Thornhart
So
with 26 votes. Now that might sound like a lot, but bear in mind that each person has like 10. So I got
Ravani had 126
yeah,
votes. You were next.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Someone walked up to me and went, Lindia is champion of vigilance. And I don't think I breathed for a solid half a minute. I was just like, what is happening? What world
That
are we
is
living
the
in? This is
most
unbelievable.
inappropriate role for him to be in the entire
Yeah.
Empire.
I mean, Lindia as a character, I can kind of see it.
Mm.
But for you to play, I mean, we also make poke a lot of fun at vigilance as a virtue.
Yeah, it's the ninth
So
virtue. Girth is
it's
the
the
eighth.
ninth
I've said
virtue.
that. I've said that openly in Anvil hundreds of times.
And yet you still got elected champion of
Yeah,
vigilance. It's a thing that should not have happened. It's an affront to it all.
it
But
is.
you're gonna. I mean,
Oh,
you've
that's a good
taken
word.
it seriously since.
Yeah, it is an affront. I do want to.
It's an
I
absolute affront to
got
all
some.
things religion.
Yeah, I got some very mixed emotions on it because how I actually found out I had won, not that Friday was dead, was Maddox. Maddox was just walking past me when I was
Mm.
by the Drunken Goose, and he just said, "Oh, congratulations, champion." And I had my little gaggle of followers. It's like Jockle, Stee,
Yeah.
Spider, and like, because we'd all been giggling all afternoon, going, "No way, no way, no way," since we'd heard that Ravadi had passed away, and we thought,
Oh
there's
yeah.
no way," because what I've been doing is to make things worse, I'd actually been bribing people for votes. So I just went up to random people and said, "Hey, if you vote for me, and I win, I'll pay you like a crown a vote." And just um,
People, did you even know if these people could vote? You just went up to
yeah,
them.
I just went up to random people. But rest assured, citizens, none of the people I asked actually voted for me. I know the two people who voted for me, and they've been rewarded handsomely. But it was,
Oh god,
yeah,
that's so
same
funny.
reaction. 30 seconds of genuine, stunned, shocked silence as everyone around me just mouth open,
Collapses.
eyes wide, and then yeah, it just breaks
Oh
out,
no.
laughter, joy, jubilation, celebration. Oh, it was
It was
unreal. It
so
was
funny.
unreal. It was the
So
most disgusting affront to the way.
funny.
It was just awful.
Oh man, this is definitely not what Ravadi wanted.
No, no. I feel when I say I have mixed emotions, the reason being is that A, it's hilarious. B, a hat, woo, isn't that cool? C, I can't wait to do something fucking dreadful and fuck it up. But D is a very powerful one here. Is
Mhm.
Rivadi's legacy actually? Becca is
Mhm.
an outstanding role player. Really love hanging out with
Mhm.
them, and have
Oh, I might be getting
made.
some more Bravati kit.
Oh,
Just FYI. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
the the effort that's gone into that role and what's been built and this boulder that's been has started to roll. I OC would feel appalled if I was just to push that off and keep going, and
Mm.
do something stupid with it. So I've promised myself to take one event seriously, E4, and I've already got some mail. I've had people
Ah,
writing
okay.
in going, dear Lindir, this bullshit with the magic needs to stop. Sincerely, Dead Family. More on that a little bit in literally an hour in game. Um, and I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to try and be an actual champion of vigilance, which means I
I'm
have to turn
excited
up
for
to
you.
meetings at the synod. I've never been to a synod meeting in my life. I didn't even go to my own election. I've
I
had zero interaction with the faith game.
I'm very excited to see what happens because it's a completely new area of game for you as a like as a LARPer,
It is,
let
yeah,
alone as a character. So it'll be really interesting to see how it goes.
yeah. I remember running into Silk, and I was excited, so I blurted out. I was like, "Guess who's the new champion of vigilance?" And that's quite a loaded question usually, but he genuinely went, I don't know, Rizart? And I said, no, it's me. And you saw his world end behind his eyes. He just went, oh God. He just went, oh God.
Oh no.
And actually, one more point on this for the revelation is
Mm.
when Maddox said that, Justin was walking past, and he turns
Hmm.
around and goes, congratulate. No, no, no. He starts pointing and taking steps backwards. No, not him. Not him. Which is,
You just oh,
yeah,
that's
it's the OC
amazing.
bleed because technically Lindy's never committed a crime at this point. More on that later. And
I
there's
mean,
actually
he's
been
already sold quite a lot of drugs at this point.
all of which have been illegal. Chaos fruit, cat piss, all fine.
It's still pretty shady.
It's shady, but it's not illegal. But that will change later. But but yeah, my Discord name is now Chump with Vigilance, and feels good. It's very
It's
cool
a new
indeed.
era. It's a new era.
Yeah,
Yeah, talk about lacking the voting block, right? This is just you're another title holder in Black Scar, and yet this was entirely unintentional. No one can possibly accuse this of having been maneuvered in any way. There's not a million years anyone believed that this was going to happen.
yeah. I
And
wasn't
yet
even.
here
I
you are.
forgot it was a position. It was
Hmm.
one could blame Rivardi.
I think
It
it
was
would
not a
be
very
used.
vigilant thing to say, was it? I suppose wisdom is kind of in here, but any vigilant citizen would have
Yeah,
realised that Linda Thornhart, aka Chris, is not the right person to have
but
any kind of
the rules were
responsibility.
about to bend around each other in order to make it happen that Chris Anson became.
I cannot believe it. And I feel so bad because
Yeah,
it's at Becca's
yeah,
expense. And that is like, oof. That is a genuine
yeah.
L. And
Rivard's
Lindia
death is
genuinely cared about Rivardi and genuinely wants to
yeah.
make a good job of this. But I just don't know how competent Chris is. We'll have to find out.
We will. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and we'll have to wait long because it's only a week and a half. I mean,
Oh
we're
my
nearly at
god.
midnight. Like, well, it's 9:25 at the moment, so let's just round it up to midnight. Makes it Thursday. It's a week away.
It's a week away. Yeah. We'll
But
be in a field.
yeah,
Well,
my
not this
gosh.
one, but yeah, you're close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not far. It's not far. I'm excited. Last one for the year.
Oh, then we enter player event season.
And we do, but some of us can't do player events because we live too far away. Boo.
Boo.
Pets. Boo.
Anyway, um,
Anyway, back to
yeah,
Saturday.
the reason Ravadi died
Um,
was there's some really nasty heralds rocking around from a new Eternal called
yeah, the
Cold
cold,
Sun.
cold sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who has taken the evil mustache twiddling supervillain view of, hey,
Mm-hmm.
humans are causing loads of problems, so let's just wipe them out. And the Eternal just wants to wipe out the Empire, just burn it to the ground. So their heralds are super tough. pretty much impervious to damage. And when they down you, that this is the really genuinely scary part.
Yeah.
They have the execute call, so they are executing players by melting them with a
Oh
mini
my god.
flamethrower in their hands. They only do it
Now,
if like the local battle scene, let's say the Imperial heroes have retreated, then they'll just execute the
yeah, so
dead.
there's no like chance of immediate help.
Yeah,
I will say, so remember when the Black Plateau first awakened?
yeah.
We were on that skirmish.
Oh yes.
Now obviously it was intense. It was bad. And then we had a main battle the next day, and it was much less bad. So I do worse, and the mechanics are slightly fudged this season. Like
Mhm.
they make it the worst to panic everyone, so it might not. If we go and fight Cold Sun Heralds, we might not face insta-killing heralds on the battlefield at E4. That's my hopeful take.
I hope from an OC perspective, this one from an IC perspective, but from an OC perspective, damn, they need to keep that up there
It
because
would be
otherwise
cool.
there's nothing really special about this lot apart from the fact
It's
they will
pretty.
end you.
I do like that as well. Like it's a good way to. I mean, you're going to be wiping out
Scary.
characters, but
Yeah.
what a way to go!
Yeah. Screaming,
Worth
no,
it.
no, 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 as they put their fingers on your
Please,
forehead
please no,
and they melt you.
no, no,
Daddy,
no.
no. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
And
trying not.
because we'd heard in the Winds of Fortune and the Winds of oh no, it was just Winds of Fortune that all these
Yeah,
new heralds don't know what they do and people need to go fight them. So obviously Rivali's skirmish. There was also an
yeah.
Avar skirmish at 6:30 to clear them out of Miaran. 50 people went out, 8 of them died, and that might not sound like a lot, but for Imperial like skirmish casualties, you might lose 1 or 2 if you're unlucky. They lost 8
Yeah, it was a
out
wipe.
of 50, not
It was a
70, but not
big
70,
wipe.
50, like nearly 20% casualties, like
Mm.
not even casualties,
Mm-hmm.
20% dead KIAs,
Mm-hmm.
and you should have seen them coming out the gate, man. They were all of them were injured, limping, carrying bodies between them, carrying their injured friends between them. Everyone had their legs cut off and stuff like that because I think they all have
Atmospheric.
impale calls automatically as well for these heralds.
Oh God.
So they just chop you up like a butcher with a cleaver and then
Oh my
burn you
gosh.
like a good steak. I think they
I like
genuinely
it.
are just Salt Bay, but herald form.
Love it.
Yeah,
I do. I do like that. I think it's good fun. It's good fun to have something deadly.
yeah. That caused a lot of fear after that 6:30 skirmish. That was quite scary.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had a skirmish at 9 o'clock, right?
9, yeah, 9 o'clock, 9:15, something like that. We were invited on a Varushkin skirmish, um, as Black Scar, and we were given a certain amount of slots. It was one of those, you got there and then suddenly there were too many people and etc. etc. But we'd been asked for and we'd been offered. And Lottie was really good about being like, you can have all of us, or you can have none of us. You can't, and you know, you need us here. You really need us here. And to his credit, the Varushkin that was leading the skirmish was really on it of like, right, you've got how many? Okay, cool. And then at one point was you saying, okay, we'd have too many people, said this to the Varushkins, we had too many people in this queue. We need to get this many Black Scar on. Because we had some people leave to join your skirmish afterwards as
Hmm.
well to limit our numbers. And we said, yeah, we need to have some people leave. So can you step out the line, or we're going to have to move them to the front? No one steps out the line, so they moved us straight to the front. And I was like, I thought that was an empty threat, but there you go, did it. Just moved us straight to the front, and we all got on this skirmish, and it was Druge boys running around, having fun.
I heard you
And we
absolutely
went in.
smashed it.
Oh god, it was hilarious. It was so much fun. We were ready just for a bit of a romp. But we were
Ooh.
also, het up. We hadn't done the thing since the morning. A lot of us had not been aware that there was an afternoon skirmish, so we'd missed that. And we're ready to fight some stuff. So we get on the field, and we're at the head of the queue now, of course. So we get on, and then we walk up. We can see them all, and we go, and then hit them with a couple of batarangs, and just charged up the field. And the Varushkin's eyes were like, oh, that's why we brought them.
Mm.
Yes, good. So I got to fire off some great shots with the bow. Oh, it was amazing. It felt so good. I got a bunch of the Varushkins afterwards as we were walking back, being like, "That was an amazing shot! Like, what a great shot, Archer!" And I was like, "Yes, thank you." But we finished it so quickly. They were like, "Yeah, yeah, it's done. You've done the thing." We did it like immediately. We killed the things that we need to because we had a mass weakness with us. I'm pretty sure what they had to do was take down like some heralds or something. So they just walked in, mass weakness, and Black Skull rolled over the heralds. Done.
Mm.
The rest of the Druze kind of didn't matter that much. But we were like, oh, we've got like 8 minutes left. Should we just go again and see if we can get any more? We did. We just like formed up again and then legged it halfway down the field just to chase off the Druze. I don't think we got any more of them, but it was fun to just chase them a little bit. And then we all went back and we were like, yep, yeah, cool, great, good times. Thanks, bye, Varushka. Have fun. And all of the Varushkins that had been really grumpy about having us on it were like, oh, bye. Thanks, Butterscar. It felt good. It felt cohesive, that magic
Yeah,
word.
because I was walking up to you lot from my skirmish at 9:30 because you'd gone on at 9.
Yeah,
You were ecstatic. You lot, all
yeah,
of you
it was good.
smiling, high-fiving,
It
just
was a good
awesome
time.
energy.
We had had a fun time. We had a good like romp. It had gone really well. We'd still got enough of an exercise as well because sometimes when it's really fast, you're like, it's actually a little bit disappointing.
Mm.
So it was quite nice that we kind of reformed and we went again for one last bit because it was the last bit of the night. I was like, yeah, go on. It was really good fun. But when you getting like magicy things done to you to go on your skirmish?
Yeah, so the Great Forest Stalk skirmish at 9:30 is a big chunk, and since this episode's at 2 hours
You can
now,
save it for Sol if
I'm
you'd
gonna
like.
save it for Sol. I'm sorry, but
You
yeah,
have to wait and hear.
it's a chunky boy and
Mm,
a lot of fun, and has heavily influenced what I want to do with this character.
you can
Very good.
save that next bit as well. And all I'll say is that
Oh,
after
okay.
that, because that's also Sol, really, isn't it?
Technically, but
Yeah.
okay, all right, I'll
But
save
we
it.
went to Gin Club. I'll just
Yeah,
say that much. We went
yeah.
to Gin Club
I
the
finally got
evening
invited to Gin
early
Club.
on. Yeah, we paid our way in. Rizal owes me money. Um,
Rizzo owes me
I
money as
was
well.
saying that I feel like I had a really tarot heavy weekend. It was really nice. I saw some of the Empire tarot cards because we had that first tarot reading in High Guard. Then Riz had his tarot cards and did readings, and then I got more readings in Gin Club. I had a really cool long debate slash discussion on prosperity
Hmm.
with first Tillian and then with Silvestro in the league, a very high lineage Cambion. You'd recognize him if you saw him.
Okay.
Um, Fascinating stuff, talking things like prosperity. Um, I love. I've really built my take on prosperity. It's one I've had since the beginning. 'Cause it just makes sense to me, but it's slightly alternative. So I really like getting a chance to sort of bring it out and examine it with
Mm.
other players that have played for a really long time. And it was really relevant to my conversation with the Liga. It was so interesting. And then it just got later and later. And I was trying to leave. And I ended up outside with two Urizen who I'd met as Larkin, so I knew them already. And I just ended up chatting with them. We were just standing there like shit posting for 20 minutes until eventually Finn just appeared out of the tent and was like, I'm going back. I was like, oh, okay, let's go. It was really amusing. It was great. It was
Yeah,
a
very
good
boozy
end to the
evening,
night.
very fun.
Yeah, it
And
was good fun.
I had my
I mean,
reservations about it at the start, but you know what? It really kicked it. Excuse
yeah,
me, hiccups. But
it's a very different vibe depending on who's there. It changes completely.
yeah,
And it was quite quiet this event for whatever reason. But it was still really good fun. I'm glad you had a good time anyway. And the shenanigans that you got up to were hilarious.
oh yes,
Since it involved not one but two of my cousins in many ways.
yeah. I'll read out one of my
Technically,
quotes, out of
that's not real.
context
Technically, it
quotes.
counts.
Is just snort it, yellow boy. And
Add it to the tab.
yeah,
Rizza is paying.
yeah. his face every single time. It's like, no, 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 what are you
He's
doing? I'm
like,
like, it's
I'm
on
not.
the
I didn't
tab.
agree to this.
Watch me. If Boppy could do
Oh
it to me,
man.
I could do it to I could do it to
Yeah.
you.
This is all Bop's fault. Just blame Boppy.
Some might
Sorry, Bop.
some
It's
might
your
agree.
fault.
That includes me.
And then Sunday. I
Yeah.
honestly don't have much to say about Sunday. I was refing, but it was quite an uneventful ref. It looked like fun from what the briefing we were given about all the codes and things that people were doing. Um, I literally my Sundays just I did the refing and then I hung out in MC for a bit and then packed down in the rain. And the pack down was awful. But
Oh, that was grim. Yeah.
yours, I think the battle for Black Scar because once again the EMU, the Elite Military Unit or Elite Monstering Unit in this case,
Hmm.
um, that has been championed and developed by Finn, had a new outing as a new type of orc. Right, it was the first time doing that.
Yeah,
Am I
we
right?
weren't playing Ulvenwar for once. We were playing the other ones that are like heavy shock troopers with like
Is it Picard?
I think Packard is Druge, but like it's basically the Jotun version of um what's our equivalent? They're basically heavy armor but with two-handed weapons or
And
ambi.
still sort of suicide run uber heroism, gonna go super hard, super fast,
Yeah,
real
max
dangerous group.
damage
But
output, crazy.
yeah,
And
so you'd all prepped and been readied for this, got together everything, and I hear good things,
oh yeah.
good things that make me jealous.
Oh yeah. I'm afraid I'll have to leave it to the next time as well. But in brief, the Girth Guard, 1st Battalion, 2nd Company, was deployed against the Imperials. The exploits of those heroes will be covered in more detail next time. But my goodness, I think that was the most I've had my maybe not my favorite ever monstering time there, but I've had my
Mm,
most effective monstering sesh with them
yes,
that time.
it sounded incredible.
Yeah, and my favorite moment, which I'll cover in brief
Oh,
because you're gonna miss out on the other episode. But basically,
are you
you know in
implying I don't
films
listen to
when
your
they
episodes?
they run at each other in lines and then they kind of like the lines go past each other for a bit and everyone goes into these one-on-one little mini fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
That historically ridiculous, immediate massacre, right? It's crazy
Mm-hmm.
because you'd kill your opponent, turn around, kill a person behind you, rinse and repeat, or be the victim thereof. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened here. Is we were running towards one of the Regios to recapture it, about 25 of us, and then Wintermark, a unit of their Steiner, see us and start running at us because there's like about 35, 40 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, Lottie's in charge, and we just countercharge. We go count, turn, wheel, countercharge, countercharge, and we run at them, and we go full pelt, screaming into them on the open field. No other Jotun around, barely any other Imperials. They're all up at the gates. It's just
God.
us, and we are ready to slap them. And we see some of them actually running off to the sides because their morale breaks on the charge. It's incredible. Some of them actually stop running. Some of them slow to walk. Some of them just stop dead because they're
Look,
afraid.
running and shouting aggression is OP in battle
Yeah,
because they're only just other humans on the other side of it, and no one wants to run towards screaming, running people.
yeah,
It's just instinct.
yeah. So this
It's
start,
so good.
yeah, it was this Steiner unit went from about 40 down to 25 that were actually still running
Oh,
at us, and they were
thank
just as
God.
fierce, just as heroic. And the lines meet, we go past each other. So the first person I just strike down, and he takes it like a champion. He goes, just rolls off to the side. I push the
Oh,
second out
no.
of the way with my shield, and then the
Mm-hmm.
third is a healer. So I just go in, cleave, chop off their leg, and they go down. Then this guy with a
Mm-hmm.
two-handed axe comes up and just bops me, like not in the
Oh
head,
my
obviously,
God.
but like in the shoulder and he goes
Yeah.
impale, and I just drop to the floor because it's basically a decapitating strike. And then Keelan comes in, he jumps over a body, cleaves that guy, then another guy comes in, sweeps his legs with a glaive, and then he goes down, and then body piles start to form. So like him and I die on top,
Amazing.
basically die on top of each other. The fight's over in about 15, 16 seconds, and there's about 8 Imperials left at the end of it. That's it. Everyone else is
This is
down, bleeding,
amazing.
legs lost. it was just the most incredible massacre that I've ever
Hmm.
even let alone bear witness to taken part in. It was crazy. Cannot describe it in inadequate words.
God, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
There has been rumors that if you are part of an EMU that has you've created, that there might be opportunities to monster on
Yes.
skirmishes
Yep.
next event going forwards, and I am so crossing my fingers for that because doing the refing, I love doing the refing. I don't think I could give it up now, but I would love the opportunity to monster on a skirmish with you guys. God,
Mm,
that would be cool.
yeah. If the Girth guards
Just
show
for the
up,
experience
that
of it.
yeah.
Yeah, so cool. I'm so glad that it worked out as well. Like, you should go into more detail with Sol on the tactics and things that you telling me about
Mm,
before, because what a good idea and how well it worked.
yeah.
Smart things.
Really solid. Great player RP for them. They had a great time murdering us. We had a great time murdering
Hmm.
them. No one got hurt, no injuries this time round, and it was a quick, punchy, dynamic battle. There was no boring
Hmm.
bits. It was all action. But I shall reveal the
Good
secret
stuff.
formula to that next time.
Got to keep people tuning in, I guess.
Oh yeah.
We only have two
Yeah, need actual
two
listeners.
episodes. What? Who are they?
I don't there's like four of them, I think. But
Oh, your mum. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Does your mum listen to this podcast?
No, she doesn't. I did actually
Oh.
send her a voice. I actually sent her. I think it was our E2 coverage. Because she was
Hmm.
just saying, hey, what you're up to, and I said, oh, editing this, and I sent it across, and she was like, oh, interesting. Who's the podcast by? And I was like, Mum, it's me,
Us.
Matty and Soul. And she's like, really? You sound so adult and professional. And I was just like, wow, really?
She's been
Yeah,
imagining you at work being like, what? I
I'm really
don't
hungry.
know.
Yeah, I mean, I have said that a few times today, but
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. Yeah, but
So
that's just life, you
my
know.
mum's a fan, but not an active listener.
Nah, it's okay.
Could ask for more, can't ask for less.
Yeah, could be
Yeah,
worse. Anything else for Sunday? I mean, we had miniature council,
yeah. I think just
some
wrapping up.
orders put in, and then timeout. Oh god, the rain though.
Ugh, disgusting. As soon as I hit timeout,
Yeah.
3 o'clock,
We
big
got really
rain.
lucky considering the weather forecast that we had not really any rain the whole way through the event.
Yeah.
And then that one, like the downpour just began an hour at 2 o'clock, down like an hour before
Mm.
timeout. It was unbelievable. I mean, in many ways, it was lucky. It would suck to be packing down in the rain again. But for a dry event, I kind of would take it.
Yeah, I hope my tent's dry because I kind of half put it up after the event for maybe like
Mm,
3 hours, but it wasn't particularly sunny because it was just raining in Warwick repeatedly.
Well, you can't. You'll have to just get it out when you get there
Yeah, I
early.
hope it isn't just a big bag of mold.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will
The
find
key
out.
will be for everyone to do their tent fixing and cleaning between E4 and E1.
Indeed, indeed. But yeah, to wrap up my Sunday, the captain's meeting. So GFO skirmish I'll cover next time, but it's my first time being a formal captain for Navarre, leading a skirmish, getting it organised. Obviously had some help. Very fun. I'm now part of the gang, which is very cool. And actually seeing what goes on in the leadership, like the bleh, skirmish leadership side of things, is actually really
Finally
interesting.
got you in there.
Yeah,
Finally.
finally in there, which is somewhere I've wanted to be for like literally years of LARP, but I've been too busy committing
Yeah.
crimes and being deliberately incompetent to check in. But now I'm playing Captain Sensible, of course, with being a champion of vigilance. F in chat for Ravadi. Um,
Oh,
I think
we
we're
missed
about to
Ravati
see
already,
competent
Becca.
Chris.
Which, we know there is a competent Chris in there. Just waiting for you to play one.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been a
That's the key
long
difference.
time coming.
Hmm. I'm excited to see the new era. But yeah,
Yeah.
bit wet. Pack up was annoying. We sat down in a tent for a while. I packed up, I think, two tents in the rain and then gave up. Finally gave up and then just lay down for half a minute and immediately got back up and repacked all
Yeah.
my stuff.
We're just about to drift off. And then Kit's like, "Hey, you two in there?"
Hey,
Uh,
I need to
yes.
put some stuff away.
Which,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, happy to help, but I was like, it's just getting cozy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, it was all right. It was great. And that was E3 for this
Matty
Dead
edition,
Shattersong and most of yours, with some omissions to be covered.
indeed.
Mm.
Not bad.
So
2 hours
congratulations.
in another 11 seconds. 2 hours 15 minutes. Not bad for all
Oh,
three
look
days.
at that.
Shorter than usual.
Look at that. Yeah, I think we probably breezed through stuff that we could have chatted, but we did also go on some tangents, so
Mm,
not too bad. It was a fairly plot light event for us too, considering most things. For you, it was relatively plot heavy.
yeah, but only in the second half and only by accident. It was
Yeah,
otherwise it was going to be light.
yeah. It was nice though.
Oh yeah,
I'm
good event.
intrigued to see how E4 is. Really intrigued to
Yeah,
see.
pumped. Got
So
spicy
much
stuff
to
to
do.
do. Redacted, and
Redacted.
chump stuff,
Mmm.
and
Jump
Cold
of
Sun,
Vigilance.
because that is scary. That's genuinely scary. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, dear listeners, for
I'm
this
ready.
E4, Cold Sun's dumped a bunch of small armies all over the Empire for ripping apart the countryside. So yeah,
Hmm.
got to deal with that now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hope I get to skirmish a lot.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking
Oh
forward to getting the bow out.
oh
Can't
yes.
wait. Last chance to use the bow before Christmas. Putting it away for months on end.
Indeed.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Am I ready? I don't know. It's next week. Am
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ready? Who knows?
Fuck.
It's me next week.
Yeah. Any parting knowledge for those at home?
Hmm. Um. Don't follow vigilance. Follow girth. It's all you need.
I agree. All right. On that note, may Girth bless you, and we'll catch you on the trods.
See you soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye.